One fighter on the bus was hurt by broken glass. A man suspected of setting off two small bombs inside a Sam's Club store in Ontario, California, has been arrested after a short police chase. Officers say Hugo Gonzalez had materials in his car similar to what blew up in the store. No word on a motive. No one was hurt. Two small fires were put out. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
"36 degrees this morning, cloudy skies, winds west at 5, and there has been some ice. Overnight, drive with care on those bridge decks and overpasses. On and off ramps could be slicked up just a little bit from that gathering ice from the overnight, and most of Illinois will start the first full weekend of April in the ice box. The National Weather Service says it will be cold across the state today and tomorrow. Some areas will see snow. Chicago police are investigating a pair of attacks that appear to be connected this early morning. Authorities say the first incident happened early this morning when a man was beaten and robbed by 5 others in the first block of West Polk Street. Less than 1 hour later, a man was beaten by 5 others after he chased a teen who took his cell phone. Attackers ran off and a few have been arrested. Authorities are investigating what caused a fire on Chicago's west side that killed an elderly father and his adult daughter. Cook County Medical Examiner's Office says Arthur and Peggy Davis died in the blaze that broke out yesterday morning inside of a home in the 5200 block of West Race. 2 other people in the home were hospitalized. They are expected to survive. Moody's Investors Service has given thumbs down this morning to Chicago's plan to expand O'Hare. Sun-Times is reporting the investment rating agency late on Thursday branded the $8.4 billion project to overhaul O'Hare credit negative. Moody's contends that project will increase leverage and airline costs above those of other comparable airports. The City of Chicago has voted to allow the initial borrowing of up to $4 billion to begin the plan. A former social worker at the Elgin Mental Health Center is accused of having sexual relations with a patient at that facility. Christine Lenhart was charged yesterday with sexual misconduct with a person and official misconduct of a person with disabilities. The list of people bleeding from the eyes, nose, mouth, and lungs after smoking synthetic marijuana is up to 89. Illinois Department of Public Health yesterday releasing its latest count of those being treated for severe breathing. Most of those cases remain in and around Chicago and Peoria. A group of University of Chicago students are questioning why a classmate was shot by a university police officer this week. Rally was held on campus yesterday by a few protesting the shooting of Charles Thomas on Tuesday night. Thomas faces charges of aggravated assault of a peace officer and major criminal damage to property charges after the incident. A Cook County judge may rule this summer on whether a prisoner who may have been tortured into confessing to murdering 2 Chicago police officers in 1982 may go free. Jackie Wilson claims he was beaten by disgraced former Chicago Police Commander John Burge and his crew until he confessed to being present when his brother shot and killed officers Richard O'Brien and William Fahey. Attorneys made closing arguments yesterday in that case, ending months of hearings. Checks for Illinois schools will soon be on their way. The Illinois State Board of Education yesterday saying it sent along the order to the state's comptroller to pay the schools. Many schools in the state will get more money, while none, at least this round, will get less. The National Weather Service said yesterday tornado that touched down near Galatia in Williamson and Saline counties was an EF2 variety. Top wind speeds up to 125 miles per hour. 2 other tornadoes that hit in Williamson counties were EF1s, top wind speeds at 95. John Lester struck out 6 over 6 shutout innings. Cubs beat the Brewers 8-0 at Miller Park last night. Tigers score 3 times in the 9th to tie it, twice in the 10th to win it. They spoiled the home opener for the White Sox 9-7 yesterday.
It was a grind day. There's no doubt. There's not many times you pitch in the snow. It was snowing pretty good for a few innings there. But it was a tough day to pitch, tough day to play baseball in general.
White Sox starter James Shields says conditions were far from ideal at the beginning of that game. Bulls take their 3-game win streak into Boston tonight to take on the Celtics. Blackhawks play their final home game of the season tonight against the Blues after team president John McDonough told reporters he does plan to bring back Coach Q and GM Stan Bowman after a dismal Blackhawks season. The news, a service of La Quinta Inns and Suites. How do business travelers win on the road? By staying at La Quinta Inns and Suites. Relax with contemporary lobby makeovers and stylish room designs. Prepare to win at business. Book now at lq.com. 5:07. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The news moves full speed every day. It can be hard to keep up with what's happening, what it means, and why it's important. That's why we're here at AM 560. We'll keep you up to date all day with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson in the morning.
First thing you do, don't flee a police officer.
That's what they think happened.
Followed by Mike Gallagher and Dennis Prager. In the afternoon, it's Sean Hannity.
There is now an intoxicating drug. It's called Trump hate.
And Joe Walsh with your drive home.
God, they don't understand what the NRA is.
This is AM 560. The Answer.
Ed, get in here and shut the door.
What's up, boss?
What's up? You have to ask, Ed?
Yes, sir. Usually, sir.
Ed, you're naked as a jaybird.
Correctamundo, sir. Just as you ordered.
I what?
You told us Jimmy John's was going on natural, sir.
No, Ed, I told you our meats are now all natural.
Huh?
That's meats, Ed, not employees.
Oh, I get it now. It's our meats that are natural.
Yes, Ed. Wood smoked ham, choice roast beef, real fresh turkey breast, all natural and freaky fresh.
How embarrassing.
No kidding. It's a good thing I got to you before your first delivery.
Yeah, well, I already spread the word, sir, and...
Naked? Oh, no. He's what? Naked? Naked. He's naked.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
With so many homeowners fearful of poor service and not knowing who to trust, home remodeling is often delayed. But do you ever wonder why so many remodeling experiences go so wrong? Advanced Design Studio thinks remodeling shouldn't be so painful. Will the project stay on budget and be done on time? If you're nervous about home remodeling, you're not alone. Whether you're contemplating a new kitchen or bath, want an addition to your home, or in need of a whole house transformation, Advanced Design Studio is the company to call. They understand your fears and know how to overcome them. Backed by 25 years of producing positive remodeling experiences, Advanced Design's client service process, called Common Sense Remodeling, averts remodeling project delays, budget overruns, and produces a rewarding remodeling experience. Make this the year you overcome your fears and remodel your home, bath, or kitchen. Don't be a bad remodeling story. Use common sense and visit AdvancedDesignStudio.com for more information or call 847-836-2600.
Are you thinking of getting engaged to that special person in your life? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I've got the perfect place for you. Engagements are all about trust, of course, and Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville has earned customers' trust for over 50 years. Roland's offers beautiful engagement rings, designers like Hearts on Fire, Simon G., A. Jaffe, and Gabriel. They're a direct diamond importer, which means wholesale prices on quality loose diamonds. And for a limited time, Roland's is thrilled to offer AM 560 listeners a free wedding band up to $500 when you purchase an engagement ring. Visit RolandsJewelers.com and see their amazing collection. Let Roland's Jewelers, downtown Libertyville, make your engagement experience truly memorable. I'm a customer. I proudly wear a watch that I bought from Roland's Jewelers. You can visit them online, RolandsJewelers.com, ROLLANDS, RolandsJewelers.com. Visit Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
5:11. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Centering. For Jim, here's Dominic.
Good morning. On the northwest side, we've got crews working a crash at Armitage and California. Other than that, pretty quiet across the area. Edens and Kennedy rolling on incident-free, while the Eisenhower and Stevenson also in decent shape. We've got some on-ramp closures on the outbound side of the Ryan at Garfield until about 6, but everything else incident-free. Traffic's a service of Napa. This month at Napa Auto Parts stores, the most popular lawn and garden batteries, just $21.99 with exchange, or save $10 instantly on all other lawn and garden batteries. Quality parts, helpful people, that's the Napa know-how. Some exclusions apply at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Traffic Answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. You get that with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, patchy morning fog, windy and colder with clouds giving way to some sun. High 35. Tonight, mostly clear, brisk, and bitterly cold with a low 19. Mostly sunny and cold again tomorrow, high 37 and a low 26. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
36 at O'Hare, 35 along the lakefront. It is 33 this morning in Aurora. And your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the greatest financial crime in history. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. How about that Masters tournament?
Yeah.
We're going to talk to Matt McEntee, CEO and partner for Green Golf Partners at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour, but I want to talk about it now, too.
Oh, well, then we will do that, Dan. If you want to talk about it, we're going to tackle it. It was fun. Did you watch?
Of course. Tony Finau, who is has the most painful pre-tournament ritual in golf.
What's that?
Dislocating your
ankle.
Yeah.
No, I saw. Yeah. But then he popped it back in.
Yeah, and then he
and
shot
I
4 under.
threw up in my mouth. Yeah, he's, in second place now?
Yeah, he's in second place behind Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, who shot 5 birdies in a row on the back 9. Kind of like your game, but maybe a little different.
Uh-huh.
Just a little different.
Hatong Lee.
Hatong
Lee, who's the Chinese player.
I thought he was Swedish.
He's 3 under, but that does not include the 2-stroke tariff that Trump has added to his score. Thank you very much. And then, of course, the big news yesterday, Tigers.
Well, he's tied for 29th place.
Right. So
but he's still doing
He's out of it.
Well,
yeah.
no,
right,
not according to him.
Well, I understand, but that leaderboard is all the best players in the world, and he's staring up at a 7-shot deficit to Jordan Spieth. No, he's done, but we'll see. Maybe he comes back and plays well.
All right. I bet he'll finish top 10. You want to make a bet?
Yes.
All right, what are we going to bet? Helping Peyton get into the selective enrollment school?
If you win, and then $100,000 if I win.
Wait, what is it again? What am I signing up for?
I'll help your son get into a selective enrollment school if you win, and then $100,000 if I win.
I have to pay you $100,000?
I mean, are you serious about Tiger finishing the top 10 or not?
I'm serious about him finishing in the top 10.
Let's then prove it.
That's a little. Maybe $10? Why don't we go for 10? Maybe 100. All right, fine, $100. No, $10.
Okay.
10. Okay.
Yeah, real confident in Tiger. That's going to inspire him to greatness today, hearing this. But, of course, Sergio's 13, the defending Masters champion, was the talk of the day. 5 dumps into the agua. We have been able to obtain some exclusive audio of that.
This is the last ball you got in the bag, Roy. You get this one, we're disqualified.
I can make it across.
Well, then do it. Quit around.
His caddy calls him Roy. I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
11. Now this is a 12, guys. Now he's got to start worrying about qualifying for next year's Open and the Masters here. He's lost this tournament.
He'll end up selling Countess Maritais and renting golf carts the rest of his life. Look at this.
I don't know even know what I'm feeling right. This is the most painful thing I've ever seen.
Jim Nance.
You know what's crazy, Jimmy? If he doesn't finish the hole with this ball, he can't turn in a card. He's disqualified.
Oh, my God. Oh, dear Lord, please. Oh, dear Lord.
Sergio's wife. That's John Williams. That's the background music for the Masters.
It's a shot. Get over the water. Will it?
Get over.
Get over.
High shot.
Don't spin back. Don't spin back.
He's over.
Yeah, the greatest up and down for a 13 I can remember seeing.
So it took him 5 balls, 5 tries.
Well, and it
5 balls. He eagled that hole last year.
well that was last year.
That's the problem. Then he got married. He got himself a wife, and look at his game now.
It's in shambles. Also,
Break up with her for a week.
that was his last ball. That was life imitating art. You have 6 balls, and that's it.
That was his last ball, really?
Yeah. Otherwise, you can't. Well, I mean, if I was him, I would have walked off the course anyway.
No, you can't. You're last year's champ. You can't walk off.
You can sit there and wait till you can go back home, come back Sunday to put the green jacket on Jordan Spieth, and I mean, you didn't have to suffer the indignity of, yeah. So that was fun.
It was a bad day.
I'm not a big Sergio fan, so I kind of enjoyed it actually.
Oh, did you?
He's always been a bit of a crybaby on the tour, and a choke artist. Remember, I mean, he didn't win his first major. He was like 0 for 73 until he won last year, and I would have wished he would have kept the streak alive.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Now, I got a phone call from Augusta.
Jack Nicklaus?
No, look at that. Augusta, Georgia. They have phones set up because they do not allow cell phones into the Masters.
By
and
the
you
way,
can't even have them in your pockets because you have to go back to your car or just throw it away.
Yeah, because it's about the golf.
Right, I love
It's about the golf. Who teeing off before the Masters did you like more? Did you like Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player or Condi Rice? Which?
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, the NRA is going after Deerfield. But first, here's your forecast. It's like a pea soup out there. We have patchy morning fog, and it will be windy and colder, and clouds yielding to some sun, a high of just 35 degrees. Our average for this time of year is 50. And then your weekend looks like this. Saturday, mostly sunny, but still cold, a high of 37. Sunday, increasing clouds and cold, a high of 39. And on Monday, the Chicago Cubs home opener, it's going to be, we're going to have some snow, 1 to 2 inches. Sounds like fun, and a high of 41 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Dominic Fortini in for Jim Telemonte.
Amy, as you mentioned, some fog in some spots. Watch for reduced visibility in your local areas. No major incidents or delays. Could see some slick spots along bridge decks and ramps this morning, but not showing up yet. 20 minutes on the inbound side of the Kennedy O'Hare to downtown. 10 from Montrose. 8 in the inbound express lanes. Eisenhower and Stevenson looking good. Outbound Ryan, you've got the local lanes and the on-ramp to Garfield shut down until 6 with some road construction. I-57, Bishop Ford, and Lakeshore get the early thumbs up. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do on this show each morning. Long-form interviews are against the current series. Look forward to Burgess Owens next week. 60-second standing commentaries from me, 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes, the Illinois Opportunity Project, our Heart of the Matter series featuring professional women speaking collegially about the important issues of the day. And then don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com. Defendhomeowners.com. Get a free property tax report on your home. Also, you can look at updated home sales information from 2017. That'll give you an idea of how much those property taxes have decimated your home value over the years. All the property tax and home sale info at defendhomeowners.com. Everything else at upstream-ideas.com.
Looking to refinance your existing home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Bill's family was cruising until he loaded $50,000 on his credit cards to cover expenses after his income was cut in half. Stressed out and living paycheck to paycheck, Bill called Team Hochberg for a free consultation. We consolidated Bill's credit cards into a 30-year fixed loan, credited all his closing costs, and reduced his payments over $1,400 a month. Bill was stressed out before calling and saved over $16,000 a year after calling Team Hochberg. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck like Bill and would like to see if refinance can lower your monthly payment, call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com.
Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
My 84 MPGE Pacifica Hybrid is America's first ever hybrid minivan, so all the other moms at soccer practice are green with envy. See what I did there? Plus, I can binge all of my shows with the available Uconnect theater or just jam out to the radio.
Hey Mom, what was that song?
Huh? What song?
Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid. It's loaded with attitude. Actual mileage varies. EPA estimated miles per gallon of gasoline equivalent MPGE based on available competitive information.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy. Another one's in the cup.
Another putt's in the cup.
Another putt.
And another one's in. And another one's in. Yeah.
Is this
Nice.
is this like a Weird Al?
It's gotta be. I love it.
Yeah, Weird Al.
Weird Al.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm going to watch the Masters all
He really is
weekend.
weird. Yeah. Did you see this story? Mentioned in passing yesterday, but really to get to it. The woman who got fired from her job at a government contracting firm for flipping off President Trump when his motorcade passed her as she was cycling.
The woman on the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the helmet and the blue shirt. Yeah.
She's filed a lawsuit against her former employer because I believe that Americans should not be forced to choose between their principles and their paychecks. No. Well,
Okay. Well, did she have a right to freedom of expression? Was because she was clearly expressing herself when she was flipping them off. It was very disrespectful. I mean, if that was my employee and I was her boss, I'd take a looky at her record and see what's there.
Well, yeah, you don't have a First Amendment right in the workplace, right? The
well, was she off work at the time, right?
Doesn't matter how it impacts your company, your ability to do your job. They're a government contracting firm. Mm-hmm. So one of the things the employer argued was that her presence there, per the photograph, would have an adverse effect on the firm's ability to get government contracts. So that's point, but it doesn't matter. Anybody rallying to the defense of the white supremacists fired from their jobs after they showed up in Charlottesville? I'm sorry, people are going to have to speak up. Yeah, exactly. There's myriad cases of this. So it's another instance where, and I mean, look, she's, just to be fair to her, she was promised 4 weeks of severance pay when they forced her out, but they only gave her 2. So she's actually only suing. Of course, they buried the lead in these stories because they want to demagogue the issue. She's only suing for the 2 weeks they promised her of severance pay plus attorney's fees and interest. So it's like $2,600. But she's making this kind of stand of free speech for everyone. Were all of those folks rallying to James Damore's defense at Google when he was fired? So here again, we have to separate the public sector from the private sector. We have to understand what our constitutional rights really are, restraints on government, and make some distinctions rather than this temper tantrum politics that infects both sides of, if I feel it's unfair, then I should get my way. Not much of a legal or constitutional argument. And that's kind of sort of what this woman is saying. Whether or not her employment, her continued employment there would have an adverse effect on the business's success, it's their private property, a business. A business is somebody's private property. So you're either going to go ahead and respect people's private property or you're not. And then we're going to not respect people's private property, and we're going to beget a culture that does not respect people's private property. And then we'll, eliminate, for all intents and purposes, the distinction between public and private and the purpose of those constitutional rights, the purposes of those restraints of government. And then, where this ends up actually is government repression, where all of our rights are lessened and open to further infringement. So before you go rallying to the fence because you want to say what you want to say in your workplace because you feel it and you have a misunderstanding of what the First Amendment protections provide, think it through. Think it through because there are limits and there are distinctions, and those limits and distinctions should be properly understood if you actually want to live in a free society, if you want your private property to be respected when the time comes, when an incident turns to your interests. That's the principle of the thing, not the principle of the thing that Julie Briskman is articulating.
Julie Briskman spending more time with her family?
She said, actually, she's been 50-year-old single mother of 2 teens.
Oh, I'm sure they don't want to spend time with her.
Surprising she can't keep a fella.
Hey, she had one at one point in time.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. Who knows?
Yeah, and...
same mom, different dad. We don't know.
Mm-hmm. But she said she's been flooded with job offers since her firing.
Oh, all right. Then no need to sue. If you've got a better opportunity because of the work you did there during your off time.
Oh, no, but it's the principle of the thing.
Yeah.
She's suing on principle.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
It's Dan Proft, and I'm excited to tell you about the Dangerous Camp for Boys and over 20 other summer camps from Northridge Prep. What's Dangerous Camp? It's a camp designed to get your boys off their iPads, iPhones, and video games this summer. It's dangerously fun, not unsafe. They throw water balloons, play games, and learn the meaning of outdoor adventure. As a listener to the morning show, you've heard me talk about Northridge Prep, the all-boys school in Niles that instills the traditional values you hold as parents. Their summer programs for boys in grades 1 through 8 combine fun, adventure, and character growth. You won't find camps like this anywhere else. A few camps caught my eye, like basketball camps led by a former NCAA Division I coach and varsity players, battles of the Civil War, bugs and botany, intro to musical improv, even a robotics camp where campers learn to build, pilot, and code their own robots. Get your son off the couch and into the outdoors. You can learn more and register online at northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
Why do we call it small business? Why not agile business, nimble business, dance circles around the big, bulky behemoths business? Ooma Office, the small business phone solution, has a virtual receptionist to direct calls to the right extension and a mobile app to help you answer while away from the office. But all that's small really is the price, starting at only $19.95 a month. Visit Ooma.com, that's OOMA, or call 866-649-9377 to find out more. Ooma, the phone your small business deserves.
Let's play Guess That Mineral. What makes clothes cleaner, skin and hair softer, and can even save you money every single day? Here's a bonus hint. It's also delicious. That's right, salt. Adding salt to soften your home's water supply makes appliances run more efficiently for cleaner clothes and a lower electric bill. Plus, it removes harsh minerals, making skin and hair silky smooth. Get the full scoop on salt-based water softeners at alittlesalt.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Mark Robinson lives in Greensboro, North Carolina, but I wish he lived in Deerfield, Illinois at 538.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
37 degrees, cloudy skies. Winds are west at 5. There are reports that thousands of U.S. soldiers could be headed to the Mexican border. President Trump saying yesterday he's considering sending up to 4,000 National Guard members to the southern border. On Air Force One, the president also talked with reporters about his planned tariffs on China.
We're at a point where we had to do this. Our economy's strong. Our jobs are great.
In West Virginia yesterday, Trump reinforced that China is using unfair trade practices, and he's committed to getting the issue straightened out. Trump also accused China of stealing U.S. intellectual property and technological advances. Georgia authorities investigating the death of a CDC scientist say right now there's no evidence of foul play. Timothy Cunningham had been missing for nearly 2 months when his body was discovered on the banks of the Chattahoochee River near Atlanta. Teachers in Oklahoma expected to pack the state capitol today when the Oklahoma Senate meets to discuss education funding. Teachers in the state are in a 5th day of a walkout. Over a dozen people on their way to the Masters had to be hospitalized after a drunk bus driver flipped their tour bus over. Georgia authorities say the 61-year-old driver was intoxicated when he veered off the interstate, overcorrected, and then flipped. Most of the state of Illinois, the opposite of Augusta, Georgia, in an icebox this April. The National Weather Service saying it will be cold across the state. Tomorrow, areas will see snow. Chicago police this morning are investigating a pair of attacks that appear to be connected. The first incident happened early this morning in the first block of West Polk Street. The next happened in the 700 block of Rush. A group of University of Chicago students are questioning why a classmate was shot by university police this week. Rallies were held on campus yesterday protesting the shooting of Charles Thomas near 53rd and Kimbark. Thomas does face charges of aggravated assault of a peace officer and criminal damage to property. And we see this all the time, weather causing baseball delays, and in some cases this spring, snow and inclement weather has canceled Major League Baseball games. But in South Korea this morning, rapidly worsening air pollution is forcing the country's professional baseball league to postpone most of their games. Korean Baseball Organization postponing the games in the capital of Seoul and nearby cities after the government issued alerts over high fine dust level and particulate matter in the metropolitan areas. John Lester and the Cubs blanked the Brewers 8-0 at Miller Park. Tigers scored 3 in the 9th and scored 2 in the 10th. They spoiled the home opener for the White Sox with a 9-7 Detroit win. The news service of the USDHHS, Health Resources and Service Administration, or HRSA. You probably know that people can donate organs like their heart, kidneys, or liver to save lives. Today, people can also donate bones, skin, even hands and faces. Learn more about donation. Visit organdonor.gov. 5:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher sees a president annoyed with the Russia investigation.
The president is clearly frustrated. The president is clearly disappointed. The president is clearly antsy to get this thing over with. If you've got proof of some kind of collusion, establish it already. Do it. All this other stuff is a distraction.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
5:35 and a check of the early morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Road's still in decent shape this Friday morning. If you're out and about early today, Edens and Kennedy remain quiet. Eisenhower looking good in both directions. 29 minutes in between Thorndale and the Burns Circle. But the inbound Stevenson starting to tap the brakes at Pulaski. 35 minutes, 3:55 into the drive, and a minor slowdown on the inbound Ryan near Canalport. Watch for a few brake lights clicking on inbound Bishop Ford near the Stony Island feeder, but everything else remains good. Traffic's a service of Napa. This month at Napa Auto Parts stores, the most popular lawn and garden batteries, just $21.99 with exchange, or save $10 instantly on all other lawn and garden batteries. Quality parts, helpful people. That's the Napa know-how. Some exclusions apply at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Patchy morning fog, a little wind, colder today. We've had some ice this morning Some freezing precip, if you will. Clouds will yield to sun by the afternoon, but we will only see about 35 degrees today. Clear, brisk, and cold. Low 19 overnight. Currently 36. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. These intolerant wussies on the left, be damned, don't ever apologize for speaking your mind. We'll talk about that when freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Public comment sections, the public comment section of a city council meeting. Normally sort of boring, like city council meetings generally. Not too many people show up to pay attention to what their local government is doing, much to their detriment. That would distinguish most people from Mark Robinson, who did show up to the Greensboro, North Carolina city council meeting because they were debating gun regulations, and he wanted in on that debate.
Yeah.
He had a few things to say, did Mr. Robinson, and hopefully he'll be bringing his act to Deerfield and Highland Park someday, but for now he's focused on his community.
What I really came down here for is this. I've heard a whole lot of people in here talking tonight about this group and that group, and domestic violence and blacks, these minorities and that minority. What I want to know is, when are you all going to start standing up for the majority? And here's who the majority is. I'm the majority. I'm a law-abiding citizen who's never shot anybody, never committed a serious crime, never committed a felony. I've never done anything like that. But it seems like every time we have one of these shootings, nobody wants to put the blame where it goes, which is at the shooter's feet. You want to put it at my feet. You want to turn around and restrict my right, constitutional right that's spelled out in black and white. You want to restrict my right to buy a firearm and protect myself from some of the very people you're talking about in here tonight. It's ridiculous. I don't think Rod Serling could come up with a better script. It does not make any sense. The law-abiding citizens of this community and many communities around this country, we're the first ones taxed and the last ones considered and the first ones punished when things like this happens, because our rights are the ones that are being taken away. That's the reason why I came down here today. Gun show or no gun show, NRA or no NRA. I'm here to stand up for the law-abiding citizens of this community, because I'm going to tell you that what's going to happen. You can take the guns away from us all you want to. You all write a law, I follow the law, I'll bring my guns down here, I'll turn them in. But here's what's going to happen. The Crips and the Bloods on the other side of town, they're not going to turn their guns in. They're going to hold on to them. And what's going to happen when you have to send the police down there to go take them? The police can barely enforce the law as it is. It's what I see. We demonize the police, criminalize and vilify the police, and we make the criminals into victims. And we're talking about restricting guns? How are you going to do that?
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. When would you like Mark Robinson to run for president of the United States?
Or come to a town hall meeting in Deerfield, possibly?
Because
in Deerfield, real quick, they have the NRA and the Illinois State Rifle Association filed a lawsuit yesterday, and a store owner of a gun shop, North Shore Sports Club, is offering people, hey, you have a rifle, store it here. You can only shoot here, but if you live in Deerfield and you're worried, during this interim process before, when June 13th comes, store them here. There's a place for you here.
Yeah. Okay, right.
That's great. But it just shouldn't be that way.
The larger point about what Mr. Robinson is saying, in Mr. Robinson's neighborhood, so to speak, is, there's a lot there, but two key takeaways. You demonize the police and you make criminals into victims. That's what we're doing in this country, across the board. Number two, he's the majority. Who speaks for the majority in this country? Several years ago, I penned a piece about the need for a new party in this country, the people who play by the rules party. This was not long after the depths of the Great Recession, where the people that budgeted for the home they bought and paid their mortgage and didn't try and game the system and then didn't walk away from responsibilities when the gaming of the system turned against them. So like the 7 in 8 homeowners in this country that didn't get a bailout, well, who represents their interests? And who represents Mark Robinson's interests? The law-abiding guy who, as he said, the first one to get taxed and the first one to have his rights infringed upon. Where is the party that speaks unequivocally with moral clarity for Mark Robinson? I don't really see one at this point. I don't really see one. And that's why Mark Robinson is taking up the fight himself.
Well, I'm here to tell you tonight, it is not going to happen without a fight. And when I say fight, I don't mean shots fired. I don't mean fist thrown. I mean I'm going to come down here to this city council and raise hell just like these loonies from the left do until you listen to the majority of the people in this city. And I am the majority. Because the bottom line is, when that Second Amendment was written, whether the framers liked it or not, they wrote it for everybody. And I am everybody. And the law-abiding citizens of this city are everybody. And we want our rights, and we want to keep our rights. And by God, we're going to keep them, come hell or high water.
I'll tell you what, I want to be on Mark Robinson's side of the skirmish line. Whatever side he's on, I want to be on his side.
We should try to get him on the show. He's good. He's powerful. I mean, because other people at that Deerfield meeting were saying, I don't think anybody should be using these types of guns. We're not in the military. That's what one woman said, Cecilia Nars, and went on and on and on. But they didn't have anybody as effective as that gentleman.
Well, familiar with the the arguments from the ignorant and the willfully blind. What we're not as familiar with is people like Mark Robinson who are going to stand up and take it on and come hell or high water, as he said, and he'll do it himself. The rest of you cowards, the willfully blind, the ignorant, the politically paid off. You don't want to fight? All right, I'll do it myself. At least I'm going to go down fighting. That's something that you don't find in this state, either party. It's something that you find in short supply in D.C., either party. I really think there is this opportunity to do something different politically when you have, as has been discussed on the show before, and as Rand Paul railed against his own party during that omnibus spending bill debate, Republicans are conservatives when they're out of power, and then they become Democrats when they're in power. Right? There's no such thing as a conservative in power. I mean, there are in certain states, and some of the conservative reform governors that have successfully improved the quality of life in their states. Right here in the Midwest, not Illinois, of course, but many states surrounding us. But there's something about that, again, revolt bubbling below the surface throughout the nation. It carried Trump to the White House. People who play by the rules and are getting fleeced by a government they finance. The first one to be taxed, as Mark Robinson said, the first one to have their rights infringed upon when someone who's not law-abiding, when someone who doesn't play by the rules breaks the law. And people are tired of it. Mark Robinson's tired of it, and I'm thankful that he is.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
White privilege. Was it a homework assignment or a flyer for the parents? But first, here's your forecast. Patchy fog this morning. It'll be windy, cold, some clouds, some sun, a high only of 35 degrees. Tonight, 19. Ouch. And your weekend looks like this. Saturday, mostly sunny, a high of 37. And on Sunday, some clouds, a high of 39 degrees. Let's get into the alarm detection system. This traffic center here's Dominic Bertini, who's in for Jim Telemonte.
Emergency crews working a crash with some injuries in Crestwood, Pulaski, and 139th. But the rest of our area roads still in pretty decent shape. Inbound Kennedy at 20 minutes. O'Hare and 10 in from the junction. Delays starting to stack up on the inbound Ike right around Damon. 33 minutes in from Thorndale. 20 in from Manheim. Brake lights on the inbound Stevenson near Central this morning. Inbound Ryan, 18 minutes, 95th in. Watch for delays right near Canalport. The inbound side of the Bishop Ford getting hung up right around the Stony Island feeder. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Yes, people ask me all the time, hey, do you use Calitrin? I had a woman come up to me recently and say, you don't look like you need to take Calitrin. And I said, well, I don't take it for the weight loss benefit, really. I take it more because it helps me sleep at night. And more importantly, it helps my joint pain. I always had problems walking up 3 flights of stairs at Blaine Elementary. Just my joints would hurt. But they don't anymore thanks to Calitrin. And what it does, it's a long-term weight loss because it gets your metabolism going naturally. No stimulants, no drugs. I've even seen Calitrin work for others. And you could order your bottle of Calitrin. It comes in the liquid form or a pill form. Just call this number, 833-TOP-LOSS. That's 833-867-5611. They do have people standing by. They can answer any questions that you have about Calitrin. You know, it's been around for 20 years, and people rave about it because it works. You don't take it and feel sick and jittery. You lose weight if you want to lose weight. Here's what you do again. Call 833-TOP-LOSS. That's 833-867-5677, or go online to toploss.com. That's toploss.com. Make sure you use the promo code Amy to receive 10% off your order today. That's toploss.com.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Dennis Prager here. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants, get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Well, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants, and that's why you need to see Dr. Naruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Naruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants bring. Everyone is different. Don't settle for mass-produced implants. Did you know that there is a difference in quality of the actual implant itself? Some are made to last, and some aren't.
This is Dr. Naruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics 630-632-7400, or just remember implantsforme.com.
Spring is here. It's Amy Jacobson, and I suggest you add this to your spring cleaning. Throw out that old flat pillow and buy your very own new MyPillow. Not only will it keep its shape and adjust your ideal sleeping position, but you can wash and dry it whenever you want. And yes, the best MyPillow 4-pack deal is still available. Go online or call now to take advantage of this great deal. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the MyPillow 4-pack deal with 2 premium MyPillows and my favorite, those 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows at 50% off. Start spring out right. No more headaches or stiff neck with your hypoallergenic Made in America MyPillow with its 10-year warranty plus that 60-day money-back guarantee. So get your 50% off the MyPillow 4-pack today. Call 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201. Promo code Amy.
I was just reading the obituaries, and you know Bob from down the street?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, his lawnmower died.
Should we send flowers?
No, Karen, it's a lawnmower. We should send Mechanic in a Bottle.
This spring, if your lawn equipment doesn't start right up, get Mechanic in a Bottle. You don't need to remove the carburetor or, worse, pay someone else to do it. Mechanic in a Bottle will clean the fuel system and have your lawn equipment running within minutes. Available at the Home Depot, Tractor Supply, and Walmart, or visit mechanicinaBottle.com. Trusted by engine and equipment manufacturers everywhere.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking about Mark Robinson's Jeremiah at the Greensboro, North Carolina City Council meeting about his Second Amendment rights and distinguishing the law-abiding from the not law-abiding, which was instructive, I'm sure, for the council. Dan in Libertyville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hello, I was listening, and I heard Amy say we needed some people like that in Highland Park and Deerfield, but the fact of the matter was I was in Highland Park.
Good for you.
And I was in Deerfield.
Okay.
In Deerfield, if you were to go to the comments sections for items on the agenda, 20 minutes in, I gave them hell for 5 minutes straight. But their opinion was already made before they ever entered the room.
Well, of course.
What you have to understand is that there were other people there who raised their voices, but they were not being heard.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that village board is going to understand is the loss of funds from their village and their residents raising hell because now their streets aren't getting fixed, the police are being laid off. If we can take maybe $10 million of their money, they'll start to listen.
All right. Thanks for the call, Dan. We'll have to look up the comments in Deerfield as well.
I believe he was there. Yeah.
Well, I know,
Yeah,
I know, and I'm sure there were people who spoke out, and happy to profile those people too. I mean, anybody who's willing to put in the fight. Casper in West Chicago.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
No, this issue is not very good for me because I don't have the experience to have a gun or the Second Right Amendments, but I think both sides feel the same thing, but in different sides, you know. The kids in the schools are thinking that their rights are being pushed against them, and the rights of the other people is eating the same thing, and they defend the same thing with the same passion. The problem is when you paint all one side of the society in the same way, you say they are the bad guys and the other guys are the good guys.
Yeah, I agree with you, Casper. I agree with you. The left demonizing the law-abiding and painting gun owners as the bad guys is wrong. So thank you for agreeing with us. And you're right. There are two sides that are very passionate. One side believes in individual liberty and constitutional rights, and the other side doesn't.
Well, they're scared and they don't know a lot about firearms. I mean, if you don't hang out with anybody who has a gun or goes shooting as a sport, it's kind of you're fearful of it. Or if you didn't grow up as hunting with your dad or your grandpa, or, it's just people are afraid of the unknown.
Well, I agree with that, and that there is a stigmatization of guns that's occurred, and you see it. I mean, and you talk to gun instructors too. People like a husband will bring his wife to a class, and she's reticent to participate. She's reticent to shoot a gun. She's reticent to handle a gun. Some guys too, but this is more the case, the real world. And then you go through the training and you learn, and you take the stigma away, and you understand it's just a tool that I can learn how to use safely and properly, just like any other tool.
But in Deerfield, they're trying to take rifles away from law-abiding citizens that have not committed crimes, that some of them are hunters.
Right.
And now they have to go to the North Shore shooting range to store their weapons come June 13th.
Mark Robinson, the gentleman who spoke before the Greensboro, North Carolina City Council, nailed it. In the modern era of political ruling class feudalism, the definition of law-abiding is first ones to be taxed, first ones to have their rights infringed upon. Nailed it.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Trust, trust, trust. Yes, I said trust 3 times because I want to tell you about a recent AM 560 charity benefactor and company that built their business and reputation over 3 decades by being trustworthy. I'm talking about Dependable Construction and founder Joe Barron. Tuck pointing, brick, and roofing is Joe's specialty. Joe started as a laborer, then progressed to an expert tuck pointer and bricklayer. In addition to masonry and roofing, Dependable Construction has grown to become a full-service Angie's List and Better Business Bureau award-winning contractor. For brick, masonry, and roofing on residential, commercial, or industrial projects to any remodeling or construction, you'll deal directly with owner Joe Barron. So call Joe at Dependable Construction today. Mention AM 560 and receive a 10% discount on most jobs. Call 773-244-1091. That's 773-244-1091 or visit tuckpointchicago.net. Tuckpoint Chicago Ed.net.
Ed, get in here and shut the door.
What's up, boss?
What's up? You have to ask, Ed?
Yes, sir. Usually, sir.
Ed, you're naked as a jaybird.
Correctamundo, sir. Just as you ordered.
I what?
You told us Jimmy John's was going on natural, sir.
No, Ed, I told you our meats are now all natural.
Huh?
That's meats, Ed, not employees.
Oh, I get it now. It's our meats that are all natural.
Yes, Ed. Wood smoked ham, choice roast beef, real fresh turkey breast, all natural and freaky fresh.
How embarrassing.
No kidding. It's a good thing I got to you before your first delivery.
Yeah, well, I already spread the word, sir, and...
Naked? Oh, no.
He's what? Naked? Naked.
He's naked.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
5:56, 37 degrees outside. Let's get an update on the roads. And in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Dominic Fortini.
Kennedy N, 20 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 10 in from Montrose, 8 in the inbound Express. Inbound Ike on the brakes at Damon, 33 minutes in from Thorndale. A few brake lights on the inbound Stevenson, tie up Central to Kedzie, 38 minutes in from 355. A bit slower on the inbound Ryan now near the Stevenson. 20 minutes, 95th in, and some hang-ups on the inbound Bishop Ford right near the Stony Island feeder. Traffic's a service of Napa. This month at Napa Auto Parts stores, the most popular lawn and garden batteries, just $21.99 with exchange, or save $10 instantly on all other lawn and garden batteries. Quality parts, helpful people, that's the Napa know-how. Some exclusions apply at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Clouds giving way to some sun today. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour, high 35. Mostly clear, brisk, and cold tonight, low 19. Mostly sunny for tomorrow, high 37, partly cloudy night, low 26. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
37 right now, cloudy skies, winds west at 5. The news is a service of Mederma. Mederma's multi-purpose quick-dry oil is preferred over bio-oil because it absorbs faster and more completely. Mederma helps improve the look of skin scars and stretch marks with nourishing botanicals. Mederma Quick Dry Oil. Visit Mederma.com to find out more. 5:58. Here are the stories we're following on AM 560, The Answer. Most of the state of Illinois will start the first full weekend of April in the icebox. National Weather Service says it will be chilly, snow in some areas, and wind chills 5 to 15 above Saturday and Sunday morning. Chicago police are investigating a pair of attacks that appear to be connected. The first happened early this morning in the first block of West Polk Street, and then later on, a man had his cell phone and cash stolen in the 700 block of North Rush. Moody's Investors Service has given a thumbs down on Chicago's plans to expand O'Hare. Sun-Times says the investment rating agency branded the project to overhaul O'Hare credit negative. The list of those bleeding from the eyes, nose, and lungs after smoking synthetic marijuana around the state is now up to 89. The New York Stock Exchange's parent company is agreeing to buy the Chicago Stock Exchange. Multiple news outlets say the purchase has been agreed to for the 136-year-old market operator. Cubs over the Brewers 8-0. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Doubling down on China. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President Trump says his administration's considering $100 billion in additional tariffs on imports from China, saying that country's trade practices have hurt American workers. There are already plans for $50 billion, and the Chinese government's fighting back. More from Fox's Simon Owen in London.
Chris, China saying it will fight the U.S. at any cost.
A spokesperson at the Chinese Commerce Ministry saying, "We don't want a trade war, but we're not afraid to fight one." President Trump's latest move to instruct officials to consider these additional duties came a day after China announced plans to tax $50 billion in American products, including the farm state exports soybeans. That was in response to the U.S. planning tariffs on the same amount in Chinese imports. Chris?
Simon, thanks. The president's made his first public comment about Stormy Daniels in D.C. Here's Fox's Rachel Sutherland.
Chris, speaking to reporters on Air Force One, President Trump said he did not know about $130,000 in hush money paid to adult film actress Stormy Daniels.
Well, you have to ask Michael Cohen. Michael's my attorney, and you'll have to ask Michael Cohen.
Cohen reportedly paid Daniels, whose given name is Stephanie Clifford, ahead of the 2016 presidential election. She's suing the president over a non-disclosure agreement, claiming it's invalid because the president never signed it. Cohen's payment has raised questions about whether any campaign finance laws were broken. Chris?
The former South Korean President Park Geun-hye is sentenced to 24 years in prison, formerly convicted of bribery, extortion, and other charges. She says she's a victim of political revenge. She was removed from office and has been in jail since last March, accused of conspiring with a friend to extort bribes and donations from South Korean companies. That friend serving a 20-year prison term. Other government and business leaders have been arrested, charged, or convicted. The monthly jobs report is out in an hour and a half. And this is Fox News, fair and balanced.
The best conversations happen with a cigar in one hand and a fine drink in the other. Join Larry Elder live in Chicago for Cigar Night on Thursday, May 17th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Larry will be joined by AM 560's Dan Proft for an evening of cigar smoking and good conversation. Tickets start at $29 and include a cigar. Get your tickets at 560theanswer.com/cigar before they sell out. Sponsored by Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Amanda Zanger, owner of Black Industrial and Safety Supply in Hammond, Indiana, and a business customer of Signature Bank. Prior to owning my own business, I worked for a major financial institution. So when it came time to finance the acquisition of Black, I approached a big bank, only to receive a solid no. That's when Signature Bank stepped in. With Signature Bank, the process was different. Signature provided creative financing options that enabled me to purchase Black and continue to grow the business. Thanks to Signature Bank, Black Industrial is able to continue serving Fortune 500 industry fabricators and contractors with tools and safety supplies as we have since 1893.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Yesterday, President Trump in West Virginia doing his Todd Berry crowd work routine, going off script from talking about that boring stuff like tax cuts.
And I think with that, I'll start. This was going to be my remarks. It would have taken about 2 minutes, but That would have been a little boring. A little boring. Right? No, I'm reading off the first paragraph. I said, this is boring. Come on, we have to tell it like it is.
Okay. All right. So he told it like it is on a range of topics, including illegal immigration. Talked about, for example, in places like California, the same person votes many times. You probably heard that. They always say, oh, that's like a conspiracy theory. Not a conspiracy theory, folks. Millions and millions of people. And it's very hard because the state guards their records. They don't want to see it.
Yeah, here he is.
In many places, like California, the same person votes many times. You probably heard about that. They always like to say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Not a conspiracy theory, folks. Millions and millions of people.
What does he have any proof to back that up? That millions of people in California are voting twice?
There's evidence of voter fraud throughout the country, but
he should start in Cook County. But
if you're going to make a claim like that, you should, provide, I don't know, a specific example or evidence from research that's been done. You have some resources at your disposal with the federal government. That voter fraud task force, which effectively is what it was, that sort of was disbanded, didn't really get anywhere. So that's sort of unfortunate. I don't know. This was like kind of back Trump 1.0 on the campaign trail. He also talked about illegal immigration in terms of the people coming here illegally.
Yeah, and what they're doing here.
And remember my opening remarks at Trump Tower when I opened. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. Everybody said, oh, he was so tough. And I used the word rape. And yesterday it came out where this journey coming up, women are raped at levels that nobody's ever seen before.
So he's saying in the process while they're coming from said country, whether it be Mexico or Central America, that they're getting raped during the process. I don't know. And I can't pretend like I do know. And I can't say that I've seen many news reports or stories on this happening. It's not good relations with Mexico.
Well, it's forget Mexico for a second. Does violence occur? Or people trying to get into this country who are bad people? Yeah, we know because they victimized Americans when they're here. And frankly, other people that are here illegally who are otherwise peaceful. The President of the United States, he just should not talk like that.
Exactly.
This is your one of your central issues. Be specific. Be knowledgeable on the topic. Let me give you an example of what's happening in Mexico from my conversations with ICE and Homeland Security. It's kind of the generic unseen levels, and millions of people are doing that, and a lot of people are doing this. Speak with some knowledge of the topic. That's the way you demonstrate command of an issue, not because you have a title that says you're the commander. And it's just frustrating because I don't think it's particularly helpful.
No, well, what was helpful is the Homeland Security Director, Kristen Nielsen. She came out with some facts yesterday. She said that there's 200% increase in illegal border crossings in the past year, and that there's been a 37% jump from last month to this month in people who are coming here illegally through the Mexican-U.S. border. And that's why they're sending down anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 National Guard troops to patrol the border. So that was some solid facts that I learned yesterday.
Yeah, cede your time to her.
Right, exactly. But when he does that, it just alienates an entire country of just loving people. I know not everyone in Mexico is great, but come on.
Loving people.
Well, I mean, what if he said that about Italians? The American Italian community would be up in arms if he called all the Italians rapists.
Well, he didn't.
Or if he called Canadians rapists. I mean, he just he speaks without thinking first, and it's enough already.
Well, now we go all the other way, which he didn't. That's not what he said, and you're overstating the case, which is unnecessary to make the point. The point is he's not specific, he's not focused, he's not demonstrating command of the issue, and that's a problem. But he's also not saying what people have said he said since his campaign announcement. All Mexicans are this, or all Mexicans are that, or all this group is that. It's not what he's saying. It's just like what he says about California. Millions and millions of people are doing it. Well, there's 40 million people in California, so he's not saying everybody commits voter fraud. But if you want to say millions and millions of people are voting more than once, then you have to have some basis to make that claim if you want to be taken seriously.
Now, if you want some facts about somebody who's embedded with that Honduran caravan, I saw a great report on CNN yesterday. Leila Santiago, she's actually with that group. Started out as 1,200, and Dan, you were right, some are determined to cross the border.
They start with a big number this year, about 1,200, and then the groups get smaller and smaller as they make their way to the north. And organizers say that a group of about 200, they believe, will make it to the U.S.-Mexico border to seek asylum. I asked some of the people here today what will happen if they encounter National Guard troops, given that President Trump says that is the new plan to provide more security on the border. And many of the people here said if they have to wait, they'll wait. If they have to find another way, they'll find another way, but they will make it to the United States of America.
I mean, it's just this idiocy. We have, 12 to 20 million people here illegally, half of whom have come since 9/11. 200 people trying to get in on our southern border. That's news. That happens every day.
Well, no, she's following that caravan.
I know
of 1,200,
she's doing. She's a nitwit. That's what she is.
Well, we're sending 2,000 to 4,000 troops to the border for 200 people.
No, and is that what?
Once a year they do the caravan.
You just played a clip from Secretary Nielsen. Is that what she said?
No, Secretary Nielsen said.
What did she say?
We are at a crisis point. We'd like to stop it before the numbers get even bigger.
She said that there's 200% increase in illegal border crossings in the past year.
So is that specific to the caravan? Is that why they're scrambling the National Guard? No. Mike in Union, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Hey, I do agree that the president does need to be a little bit more accurate with his sayings, whatever. But yesterday on Fox News, there was a report that Amnesty International had claimed some crazy number of 6 out of 8 or something, which is hard to imagine, of these women making this migration were being raped up and on their way up. And I think that's what he was referring to. Maybe he should have specified that. So I don't know if you guys saw that or heard that.
He did specify people are getting raped on their way up. Mexicans are getting raped, but he didn't. But what all people here and all the headlines are Mexicans are rapists. President Trump's at it again, and that's the problem.
Well, thanks for the call, Mike. The headline is also a problem of the left echo chamber. But what he specifically said is not specific enough. Remember my opening remarks at Trump Tower. I used the word rape, and yesterday came out where this journey up, women are raped at levels nobody's ever seen before. Okay, so the way that an executive would communicate that. Did you see the Amnesty International report that suggests that X is happening to this caravan of human beings from Honduras trying to make their way to America? Let me tell you a story more globally, since I know stuff that you don't know, because I'm the president of the United States and I have professionals and cabinet level departments that dedicate all of their time to our national security, including our border security. So per my discussions with Secretary Nielsen, per my discussions with Director Homan, per my discussions with Border Patrol agents and the leadership of those men and women, I know these things about what's happening. I mean, think about the exchange between Ted Cruz and Saldana. I think her name is Sandra Saldana, during the Obama administration, where Cruz walked her down ICE's own reporting about the number of violent criminals released back into the population in America on an annualized basis, according to their own numbers, and that driving a conversation about the insanity of the federal government's policy making and judgment calls when it comes to this issue. It's such a completely different way to approach the problem, is to actually get to it, rather than this sort of imprecise, see I was right, kind of directionally correct but not specifically accurate sort of lingo.
And what was he? He was in West Virginia to talk about taxes?
Well, I talk
and
about
then he threw the
everything,
script like, I'm doing it my way. The hell with it.
It's just, and this is against the backdrop of Trudeau saying that prospects are good for a win-win-win NAFTA deal with the U.S. and Mexico and Canada. Discussions on trade. I mean, taking the Larry Kudlow approach to explaining what he's trying to do, if that is what he's trying to do, how Kudlow explained it, with respect to lowering taxes, both here and in China, with respect to accessing the Chinese market for American goods and not punishing consumers by taxing products that they would purchase that were made in China.
But President Trump yesterday in West Virginia, he made a comment about there might be tariffs against other countries, and the Dow dropped 200 points like that. I mean, everything he doesn't understand. I don't know if you've looked at your bank statement lately or your 401k, but I have, and every time he talks, something happens.
Well,
I know it'll grow back, but the money growth will. But still, it's just he's very careless with the facts, and people's lives are at stake, really, when it comes to money.
Also, his political career is at stake. His presidency's at stake. And I don't really understand why he's so cavalier about it. I mean, there is a lot of evidence about a blue wave that is gathering. And Scott Walker sounded the alarm earlier this week. Mm-hmm. And what does he think is going to happen if Democrats take over the House, if they make gains, maybe even take over the Senate? What does he think he's going to be able to do in his last 2 years, even if the House doesn't move to impeach him? And I don't care that his approval ratings, according to some pollsters, is approaching 50%. I mean, that matters because the more popular he is, the more insulated from the craziness of the left he is. The left will know they will suffer if they try and move on a popular president, a more popular president than he has been for much of his first year and a half. But, I mean, what they want to do. They're not being shy about it, and they are serious about it in terms of moving on impeachment. But even if that doesn't happen, if you lose control of the Hill, then you lose control of your policy agenda. And you would think he would guard that control a little bit more jealously so he could continue to do some of the good things that he's done and maybe unwind some of the bad things he's done, like sign that omnibus spending bill. And by the way, there is even a movement afoot because apparently he's been chastened by public opinion to do just that through the rescission process, which is a bit esoteric. But there is a path for him to actually, and him along with congressional Republicans, to claw back some of that profligate spending contained in that omnibus spending bill through the rescission process. Kim Strassel wrote about in the Wall Street Journal. So, I mean, the good news is that to some extent Trump is chastened by public opinion, and he'll rethink something if it turns out not to be popular. Now, that's also very dangerous. You don't want him to be a human weather vane. But if he feels like he did something wrong, if he feels like he has diminished his brand, his political capital, then maybe he'll try to do something to correct that. That would be good. But this kind of, doing a caricature of Alec Baldwin, doing a caricature of him on a campaign stop in West Virginia, effectively, I mean, it's just not helpful. It's just not helpful. I don't know how else to describe it.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, why Bobby Hull's name is being stripped from the Stanley Cup. But first, here's your forecast. Today, it's going to be foggy, patchy fog in the morning, otherwise windy, colder with some clouds. Unseasonably cool for this time of year, a high of 35. Average high this time of year is 50 degrees. Tonight, a low of 19. Saturday, sunny, a high of 37. And on Sunday, clouds and a high near 40. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Dominic Fortini in for Jim Telemonte.
In Elk Grove Village, we've got a crash along Rowling at Devon. Inbound Kennedy, a little bit slow off the O'Hare extension. 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 10 in from the junction, 8 in the inbound Express. Inbound Ike slowing at Western. 35 minutes in from Thorndale. 22 in from Manheim. Brake lights on the inbound Stevenson will cost you some time. Harlem to Kedzie, 40 minutes in from 355. A half hour in from the Tri-State. 25 minutes traveling on the inbound Ryan between 95th and downtown, and some slow spots inbound Bishop Ford right near 103rd. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560. The Answer.
Thinking of getting engaged to that special person in your life? Then you need to visit Roland's Jewelers. Engagements are about trust, and Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville has earned customers' trust for over 50 years. Roland's offers beautiful engagement rings from designers like Hearts on Fire, Simon G., Jaffe, and Gabriel. They're a direct diamond importer, don't you know, which means wholesale prices on quality loose diamonds. For a limited time, Roland's is excited to offer AM 560 listeners a free wedding band up to $500 when you purchase an engagement ring. So visit RolandsJewelers.com to see their amazing collection. Let Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville make your engagement experience truly memorable. Visit RolandJewelers.com. Roland's, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
People have long associated the Ozinga name with concrete, but truth be told, Ozinga has always been on a quest to create a better world. We want to help you build your business so you can provide for your family, create better jobs, and build your community. It's why we constantly engineer better concrete, haul raw materials, and supply cleaner fuel. Together, we can positively impact the places where we live, work, and play throughout the Chicagoland area. To learn more, go to ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
So, you're a truck driver, a clutch cowboy, a wrangler of the road. At Ozinga, you are exactly who we need. Concrete truck drivers. People who aren't afraid of a little adventure and hard work. If you're tired of monotony and are looking to build something that matters, then come build with us. At Ozinga, we are building our families, our communities, and our country. Apply online today at ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
Spring is here. It's Amy Jacobson, and I suggest you add this to your spring cleaning. Throw out that old flat pillow and buy your very own new MyPillow. Not only will it keep its shape and adjust your ideal sleeping position, but you can wash and dry it whenever you want. And yes, the best MyPillow 4-pack deal is still available. Go online or call now to take advantage of this great deal. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the MyPillow 4-pack deal with 2 premium MyPillows and my favorite, those 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows at 50% off. Start spring out right. No more headaches or stiff neck with your hypoallergenic Made in America MyPillow with its 10-year warranty plus that 60-day money-back guarantee. So get your 50% off the MyPillow 4-pack today. Call 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Looking to secure financing on a new home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Mitch contacted the nation's largest online lender, obsessed with their rocket for a VA mortgage, but was overwhelmed by their ridiculously high closing costs. So he called Team Hochberg, which he should have done in the first place. Team Hochberg secured Mitch a lower rate with substantially lowered closing costs. When securing a VA loan, you can contact the largest online lender who finances the millions of dollars promoting their rocket through higher rates and closing costs, or you can call a trusted local lender, Team Hochberg, at 312-751-1333, who values the sacrifices you made for our country and has substantially lower closing costs and interest rates, because guess what? We don't have a rocket. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
AM 560, The Answer.
So there's a mom in North Carolina in Raleigh who was outraged because she went through her son's backpack and saw this, what looked like a homework assignment about white people and their privileges. And basically it was a two-sided piece of paper detailing white privilege in her 8-year-old son's folder. And it just makes, they point out things like this, Stan, that Congress is 90% white, governors 96% white, our top military advisors are 100% white, that current POTUS cabinet is 91% white, the people who decide which TV shows we see 93% white, so it goes on and on and on. And for a second grader to learn this in school, she thought was way out of line. And the one woman that's complaining is African American, and her son plays with white kids.
8 years old. What does he need to know about racism or white privilege? My son comes home to me and asks me, Mommy, are white people better than me?
So she thinks that this assignment or whatever this was, because now the school district is saying, oh, no, this pamphlet was for parents, not for the kids. She's saying that you created racism. And that she wanted her 8-year-old son to grow up in a race-free world and not
it's okay
judge people by the color of their skin.
So it's okay if it was for parents then?
No, it's not okay if it's for parents either. But the fact that the school, I think, is lying to her because she said they talked about it in class, but the school district spokesman is saying, oh, no, we didn't discuss this at all. It's not part of the curriculum, that it was just a pamphlet. So they're kind of backpedaling as to what it was. But I agree with her. I mean, she wanted her son not to grow up thinking, oh, should we look at somebody's color of their skin and judge them on that? Are my friends privileged? Why am I not privileged? Why, am I a minority? And so that's, she's going to try, I don't know what she's going to do, but she's going to the next school board meeting to discuss it and see what they can do.
Yeah, welcome to the party. It's happening at the elementary school level, second grader. You think this is just confined to college campuses? It will never be contained where you think it will be contained. This is on the advance. And so you have this. The idea, their excuse, their cover story is this was for the parents, not the kids. So you want to racially demagogue, you want to direct your racial demagoguery towards the parents. So you want to radicalize the parents so that they can help you radicalize the kids. Is that the game?
Yeah.
Right. On the 50th, remember the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King's assassination. And it strikes me that this new racial order that is exemplified in this coursework at this elementary school, at Eli Steele's documentary about it, how Jack became black. Explain to me how we get to the colorblind society that Martin Luther King dreamed of by continuing to count by race. I just want to understand how we start from that premise and we get to King's dream. So if somebody on the left could explain that to me, I'd sure be grateful.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Kevin Williamson out at the Atlantic before he started at 6:36.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 37 and clouds. Most of the state of Illinois will start the first full weekend of April in the icebox. We'll have wind chills over the weekend on Saturday morning and Sunday morning between 5 and 15 above. Some areas could see snow. President Trump wants to slap tariffs on $100 billion worth of Chinese products. The president's move comes after China decided to retaliate against new tariffs proposed by the U.S. earlier this week. Target settling claims that it discriminated against minority job candidates. The retailer says it's agreeing to pay over $3 million and upgrade some of its hiring processes. Teachers in Oklahoma are expected to pack the state capitol today. When the Oklahoma Senate meets to discuss education funding, teachers in the state are in the fifth day of a walkout, and schools in Oklahoma and Tulsa are closed because of the Wildcat strike. Police in California say the shooter who injured 3 at YouTube headquarters bought her gun legally. San Bruno police say Nasim Agdam purchased that handgun in January at a dealer in San Diego where she lived. Agdam eventually turned that gun on herself. Chicago police investigating a pair of roughhouse attacks. They appear to be connected, and they happened in the city of Chicago this morning on West Polk and on North Rush Street. The attackers ran off in both cases, 5 attackers, and some were arrested. Moody's Investors Services is giving the thumbs down on Chicago's plans to expand O'Hare. Sun-Times says the investment rating agency branded the $8.4 billion overhaul project credit negative. Checks for Illinois schools could soon be on the way. State Board of Education yesterday saying it would send that order to the state's comptroller to pay up. The new checks will be the first under Illinois' new education funding formula. Speaking of funding education, the president of the University of Illinois says he wants to keep tuition where it is for the next 2 years. U of I President Tim Killeen telling state lawmakers he wants that tuition freeze, but he'll need more money to make that happen. U of I is asking for a 10% increase in state funding in the new budget. John Lester struck out 6 over 6 shutout innings of work. Cubs with a 8-0 blanking of the Brewers at Miller Park. Tigers score 3 in the 9th, 2 in the 10th to win it. They spoil the home opener for the White Sox 9-7. Bulls take their 3-game win streak into Boston, take on the Celtics tonight. Blackhawks play their final home game of the season tonight against the Blues after announcing plans to retain both coach Joel Quenneville and GM Stan Bowman. Jordan Spieth on top of the leaderboard after round 1 of the Masters.
It's nice that I was able to shoot a score like this. I felt like, I putted well, but I didn't putt amazingly well. I hit some really solid iron shots on that back 9 to go with, just some solid inside of 10, 12 feet putting.
And skipping one over the water at Augusta yesterday. Check out that video. Matt Kuchar and Tony Finau are within shooting range of Jordan Spieth. The news, a service of Staples. Staples knows running out of ink is no way to do business. Help keep your business working and your printers printing. Go to Staples for a huge selection of ink and toner and find your ink in stock every time and at a low price. Every day, so you can meet every deadline. Staples, it's pro time. 6:33 is our time. We'll have a check. Traffic and weather coming up next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains what secularism does to a society.
The famous quote from the end of the 19th century is, when people stop believing in God, they don't believe in nothing, they believe in anything, because wisdom begins with fear of God. Sorry, secularists out there, you are guaranteed a dumb society when you get rid of God and the Bible.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Pro-life and a true conservative, Mike Braun is the Christian leader we need in the U.S. Senate. Mike grew up in Jasper, Indiana, and married his high school sweetheart, Maureen. Mike and Maureen came back home after school to raise 4 kids on the same values they grew up on: faith, family, and hard work. 3 of the kids joined the family business, and you'll find the Brauns at church on Sundays. Politicians in Washington have very different values. Let's send Mike Braun to the U.S. Senate to make a difference for us. In Washington, Mike Braun will stand for the right to life, defend traditional family values, and help President Trump confirm strong pro-life judges to the Supreme Court. Christian, pro-life, conservative. Mike Braun for Senate.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
It is 6:35. Let's get an update on that morning ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Let's get the very latest now. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Mentioned during our last traffic, we had a crash in Elk Grove Village. It's actually a semi into a Marathon gas station at Rowling, just north of Route 390, Rowling and Devon to be exact. In Lockport, we've got a medevac chopper responding to a crash at Caton Farm and Route 53. Probably best to give that area some time to recoup. Inbound Kennedy, 27 minutes in from O'Hare, 12 in from the Junction. Inbound Ike at 38 minutes in from Thorndale, 25 in from Mannheim. Got a crash on the outbound Ike at Laramie to work with, 29 minutes downtown out to Thorndale. Inbound side of the Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th in, and some hang-ups inbound Bishop Ford between the Stony Island feeder and the Ryan. Traffic's a service of Mederma. Don't let a scar steal your spotlight. Use Mederma Advanced Scar Gel, the only once daily formulated scar care product, clinically shown to reduce the appearance of scars. Visit Mederma.com to learn about their growing family of skincare solutions. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Patchy morning fog, windy, colder. We've had some ice overnight. Clouds will yield to sun, and we'll stay just about where we are temperature-wise. High near 35 across the area. Clear, brisk, cold. 19 overnight, sunny and cold. Tomorrow, high 37. Currently, 36. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Some call me the sage from South Central. Others call me the czar of common sense. But you can call me Larry Elder. And you're invited to join me tonight, starting at 7, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And a little discussion in the media with Sinclair creating such a stir this week. And The Atlantic adding to it by first hiring Kevin Williamson from National Review, and then firing Kevin Williamson of National Review 14 days and one column into his tenure at The Atlantic.
Well, what was his one column in? Was that inflammatory, or is this about his past?
This was about his past.
You didn't know about his past before they hired him?
He does produce product for public consumption.
Yes, he does, but that's why they hired him, right? Because they wanted his pro-life views.
Well, they wanted his sort of renegade conservative views. I don't think it's limited to a particular issue, but Kevin Williamson, and I know some people won't like him because he was very hard on Trump, basically never Trumper. Yeah. We've talked about on the show. I don't always agree with him, but he's a very good writer. He's super sharp, and he's got very sharp elbows, and so he's fun to read. But he's going to, upset a lot of people by the tone that he takes sometimes and the positions he takes as well other times. And, of course, the left was howling about The Atlantic hiring him. I mean, the Daily Beast said, The Atlantic was so desperate for buzz that they didn't pay attention to the things Williamson had written or tweeted previously prior to hiring him. Jeffrey Goldberg, who's the editor at The Atlantic, initially defended some of Williamson's comments that were working the left into a froth, saying that Williamson's voice had a place in the discourse. Brett Stevens from the New York Times, formerly the Wall Street Journal, formerly a center-rightist who took the cloak off when he moved over to the New York Times. He rallied to Williamson's defense to some extent. And then, they kind of, Goldberg saying, well, some of these tweets I don't like either, but he deserves a second chance. It's just a tweet, and so on and so forth. But not when it came to abortion. And because Williamson had written taken a rather strident position with respect to abortion, that was too much for Goldberg to bear, and they canned him.
Well, what he said that every woman who had an abortion should be hanged. But when did he say that? How long ago? How many years ago? I don't even.
Yeah, it's something that he has written in the past. That he takes the position that abortion should be treated like murder, and so anyone who participates in a murder should be held criminally liable.
No right to due process before they hang you there up on that tree there?
Well, what is that? What is due process?
I mean, just saying.
He said abortion should be treated like any other homicide.
Right.
So.
And they didn't know that before they hired him? That he'd written that? I mean, that's why I just find this very strange that now all of a sudden there's this outrage, and now all of a sudden now he's out of a job.
Well, I think number one, that's taking the Atlantic editors at their word that they didn't know.
Oh.
Right. I mean,
this could be a publicity stunt. Give them some attention.
Well, it could be that they knew and didn't think it would create the stir that it created. They wouldn't receive the blowback that they're receiving, and so they're folding in the face of the blowback. And that doesn't look particularly heroic for these, otherwise these journalists who consider themselves very heroic. And so they came up with a cover story of, choosing to perhaps feign ignorance rather than admit cowardice. But it's interesting because despite the Kevin Williamson case, there's a good VDH piece in National Review where Kevin Williamson used to write, may again, I don't know. And by the way, good interview because of Kevin Williamson that I did at Upstream-Ideas with him a few months ago. But he's a very interesting guy. We had a good talk. You can check it out in our Against the Current series at upstream-ideas.com. But Victor Davis Hanson writes in National Review about all of this back and forth with media from different perspectives. Who has suffered from this ongoing media crack-up? Not conservative opinion journalists on television and radio. The role of talk radio and cable news outlets is to interpret the news, and they continue to do that well from a conservative point of view. But are the mainstream news outlets commensurately doing their quite different jobs? And Davis Hanson says, hardly. Given the epidemic of fake news passed off as disinterested reporting, the hysterias about the Russians, the smearing of officials like Jeff Sessions, the collusion to undermine the Trump administration in general, what we are witnessing is an utter inversion in the supposed way the media works. Whereas the task of Rush or Tucker Carlson is to offer cogent analysis from a more conservative viewpoint of the news of the day, a supposedly disinterested media cannot be relied upon in the same degree to do their quite different job of reporting the day's events. So what you have, VDH argues, is opinion journalists being better reporters of the day's events than today's reporters and far more skilled and upfront editorialists. And that transparency from the conservative point of view is redounding to the benefit of conservative media outlets and to the detriment of your Amazon Post and New York Times and CNNs. You agree with that? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. And you see that you have, it's bifurcated.
Bifurcated.
It's.
I think I put that on my bike yesterday.
You should, so that nobody steals it.
Exactly.
It's more polarized and more democratized. Many more outlets in the digital age, of course. But who is ascendant? Is it the old media journalists pretending to be objective? Well, I mean, they're kind of schizophrenic. They pretend they're objective and they're the real news reporters, while they openly say the normal rules of journalism have been suspended since Trump's election, and we're in the business of storytelling. I mean, like tall tale storytelling, like propagandizing, not reporting. They say that on the one hand, and I'm talking about leading lights of the journalistic left, like David Remnick at the New Yorker. They say that, and then they turn around and say, "But we're the real news. We're objective." Okay, so who's ascendant here, though, and how is this going to change media? Are we going to get perhaps to a better place where you have transparency and honesty? I have a worldview. That informs the stories I choose. That informs the way I report, the angle on which, from which I report the stories I choose, rather than this nonsense about this is the one singular story that the Associated Press, the New York Times wrote that should be repurposed through every outlet because they are the ones that properly balanced all of the competing interests and all of the competing angles. When, of course, they come to the table with a worldview. and it's left, as we know. So, to me, this move to transparency, stopping with the pantomime of being disinterested reporters, as VDH writes in his column, and just being honest about who you are and the perspective you have, and then having enough respect for your readers or consumers to factor that in, the same way that we do on this show. Do I pretend I'm? I see some, here and some there.
That's
and
me.
The truth
That's
is
not
somewhere
you,
in the
that's me.
middle. I mean,
On certain topics.
you take information and then you provide analysis, or you provide perspective, or you provide context, or you
provide opinion.
You attach consequences. That's the whole point. That's the whole point, is to get to a better understanding. As A.J. Liebling, the great Chicago journalist, said many, many moons ago, everywhere people confuse what they read in the newspapers for news. He said that 50 years ago.
Well, I mean, look at the headline. President Trump calls Mexican rapists. When you listen to him, he said women are raped while they're trying to come from Mexico to the United States.
In the specific case of this Honduran caravan.
Right.
That's essentially, we think, what he was referring to. Now, he doesn't help himself, but yeah, right. Right. But
if you look at the Honduran caravan, which I have been following this group, they're mostly women and children. There's a few men, but I'm just,
Yeah, but they're also seeking shelter town to town as they make
Right.
their way up from Mexico's southern border to ours. But, I mean, how many examples do we have to have of not just the Jason Blairs and the Stephen Glasses, but all of the reporting on this administration just in the last 18 months that has had to be retracted? Completely specious reporting, fabrications in many instances. And yet they still want to wear that cloak. And I think VDH is right. They're wearing that to their detriment. And so that's good news for talk radio jocks like us.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, what would you do for a 10% raise? But first, here's your forecast. It's going to be nasty. That's all I could say. If you have a chance to get away this weekend, maybe to a warmer place, you might want to treat yourself to that, because today we're going to have a high of 35 degrees with some clouds. It will be windy tonight, a low of 19. Saturday and Sunday, as Mike Scott reported, we're going to have wind chills near 5 degrees. A high Saturday of 37. Sunday, 40 degrees, maybe 39. But get this, on Monday for the Chicago Cubs home opener, which probably might be postponed, we're going to have snow. I laugh. We're going to
Sox play through the snow.
Snow totals 1 to 2 inches and a high of 40. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Dominic Fortini in for Jim Telemont. Anything chilly on the roadways?
Not too bad yet. Traffic building, though, on the inbound side of the Kennedy. 35 minutes in from O'Hare, 17 in from the junction, 14 in the inbound express. You're slow off the O'Hare extension, then pretty solid from Pulaski. And outbound, 26 minutes downtown out to O'Hare. Outbound Ike, watch for the crash at Laramie. 32 minutes downtown out to Thorndale, while the inbound Stevenson slow-moving Harlem to Kedzie. Inbound Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th minute downtown. Still have crews in Lockport working that crash at Caton Farm and Route 53 with some injuries. And in Elk Grove Village, that semi sits in a Marathon gas station after having a crash at Rowling and Devon. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs. There's a huge deal for United Technologies, the Surgeon General on a mission to lower opioid antidote costs, and there's a new USA Today publisher. Those stories next.
Hi, this is Jack from Banyan Hill. You might have heard about that $34.6 billion that's expected to be doled out in what we call freedom checks. Huge checks that are changing people's lives from coast to coast. People like Sean from Pittsburgh. In fact, he's on the phone right now. Sean, you there?
Yes, I am, Jack.
Sean, let me ask you, how do you like getting these massive checks in your mailbox every month?
Well, Jack, we used to put stuff on credit cards living paycheck to paycheck. But now, after we started collecting a specific kind of freedom check, I have to say, life's a lot more fun.
I bet it is. In fact, getting massive freedom checks is fun no matter who you are. And with $34.6 billion expected to be paid out in private, non-government money starting as early as May 1st, now's the time to stake your claim on some cash. To get all the details, go to www.freedomchecks126.com before the May 1st deadline. That's www.freedomchecks126.com.
Aircraft engine builder Pratt & Whitney, a division of United Technologies, has closed a major contract with JetBlue Airways to supply engines for its entire fleet of 85 Airbus planes. Financial details were not disclosed. Mabel Wadsworth is the new publisher of USA Today, the second woman to hold that post at the national newspaper. Economic reports will be following today include the latest jobless claims, an update on international trade, and the latest consumer confidence index. U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams says he's focused on bringing down the cost of the drug naloxone, the antidote to opioid overdoses. Currently, that drug costs $80 a dose, and the Surgeon General says more Americans must have access to it. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. I'm Keith Peters for the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. 3 seconds a day. That's all it takes to finally surpass your weight loss goals. With Calitrin, it's seriously so easy.
My name is Melissa. I've been taking Calitrin and I've lost 22 pounds.
This is Dixie from Bell Fountain, Ohio. I ended up losing 28 pounds and about 6 inches.
Hi, this is Susan. I take Calitrin. I've lost about 60 pounds.
Hi, I'm Alex Trevino from Austin, and I've been on Calitrin now for a little while and lost 40 pounds. Went from a size 51 waist to a size 42 and never felt better in my life. It's the best thing that I've ever taken. I've tried it this market, and nothing has beat or compared to this at all. I would highly recommend it.
If you're ready to have your own success story, you can join the hundreds of thousands who have lost weight with the #1 healthy choice for weight loss. Just go to toploss.com to check out Calitrin for yourself or call 1-800-325-4366. Again, that's toploss.com.
Homeowners, if you're planning on improving your home, we're here to make it easier. Don't miss the free Home and Garden Show this weekend in Naperville, where you'll find all your home improvement needs with one visit. You'll save time and money and see thousands of the latest products and services and speak with experts who'll help you with your next project. At the Home and Garden Show this weekend in Naperville at the Players Sports Center with free admission and free parking. For details, visit foxvalleyhomeshow.com. That's foxvalleyhomeshow.com.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. A great ball player doesn't just hit home runs. He puts the ball in play or gets on base every time he can. And that's what we want to do for you so that you can be ready for your postseason play, your retirement.
That's why our whole team at Wealth Management Group has their game face on and is ready to help you.
Step up to the plate and make Wealth Management Group part of your financial force.
Start at investwithwmg.com and tune in each week to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
It's helped me tremendously, the product. You know, I cut down on colds. I have more energy. It really helped me with allergies. I mean, I know that they're there when they're ready to kick in, but they don't kick in. And I don't really have as much sugar cravings as I used to have. So it's definitely been really good that I went on this.
I have seen a tremendous change in my skin. My skin looks really, really good, and I love it. I had eczema like on my arm and my elbows and all on my feet. I mean, I was so embarrassed. And now I don't fear anything. I wear my arms out. You know, everything is cleared up so nicely, and I love it. I love it.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Check it out, GreatParkingLots.com.
Go to GreatParkingLots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Special early season discounts if you act now. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
If you have pain, listen up, Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
AM 560, The Answer.
How about this? Justice Sonia Sotomayor is in trouble.
It's Sonia Sotomayor.
Yeah, she's in trouble.
She's a Boricua. What happened?
She...
My little sassy New Yorican.
Yeah, right. Wise Latina and all that. She, speaking at Vanderbilt University this week, said of Clarence Thomas, quote, "I just love the man as a person. He knows the name of every single employee in the building. I can stand here and say I just love the man as a person. He has the same value toward human beings as I have, despite our differences." That's, I mean,
okay.
How dare she say that about Clarence Thomas? This is a man not even worthy of a exhibit at the African American Museum.
Wait, didn't they finally give him one, though? A little kiosk?
Yeah, it's in the
corner?
janitor's closet.
That's bad. So did she say why she's fond of him? Or why they're throwing out pleasantries?
They're not throwing out pleasantries. She offered them in a speech in Vanderbilt. Because maybe just she doesn't feel comfortable, can't look herself in the mirror if she didn't actually tell the truth about the man, something that the D.C. press corps hasn't done in the 25 years he's been on the bench.
Yep. You heard it there from the lovely Latina. He's a good man.
Sonia Sotomayor, just love the man as a person. Oh, my gosh. The left-wing heads that must be popping off at this point.
Hey, we have a ticket giveaway right now. Jesus Christ Superstar brings one of the greatest stories ever told to life in the groundbreaking rock musical composed by Andrew Lloyd Webber, and it will be at the Chicago Lyra Opera House April 27th through May 20th.
Chicago Lyric Opera House?
Chicago Lyric Opera House, yeah.
Lyra.
For more details and to buy tickets, visit lyricopera.org. And this morning, we're giving away a pair of tickets to Jesus Christ Superstar, the Dan Proft story, to caller number what? Well, I heard while I was off that you called yourself Jesus or something, compared yourself to Jesus.
No.
All right. Well, what number?
You heard wrong.
Okay. This way. All right. What number? Case. Caller number. Come on.
4.
312-733-6993. 312-733-6993. Caller number 4 wins a pair of tickets. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Brett Baer at 7:07.
But first, here is Mike Scott.
Illinois bracing for more wintry weather this weekend. Tigers beat the White Sox. Cubs blank the Brewers. WIND Chicago News Time.
President Trump says tariffs are working and he might want more. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The president tweeting this morning, despite the aluminum tariffs, aluminum prices are down 4%. People are surprised. I'm not. Lots of money coming into U.S. coffers and jobs. He's talking about new fees on imported steel and aluminum. The president's also considering now even more tariffs on Chinese products than the ones already proposed. In D.C., Fox's Rachel Sutherland.
Chris, President Trump is threatening to impose $100 billion more in tariffs on Chinese products in response to Beijing's announcements of tariffs on goods from America's heartland. The American Farm Bureau Federation says trade disputes put farmers in a precarious position. White House Trade Advisor Peter Navarro says the president has the backs of farmers.
Implement a plan immediately to prevent any harm done to our American farmers.
Republican Senator Ben Sasse of Nebraska says the president is threatening to light America's agriculture on fire. Chris.
Rachel, thanks. On Air Force One, President Trump tells reporters he had not known about hush money paid to the porn star Stormy Daniels. It's his first public comment about her. The Menendez brothers, spending life in prison for murdering their parents in Beverly Hills in 1989, are back together behind bars.
50-year-old Lyle was moved from a Northern California facility in February to the same San Diego prison as 47-year-old Eric, but they were only moved to the same housing unit this week. The brothers were just 18 and 21 when they shot and killed Jose and Kitty Menendez, and officials were against the brothers being housed together when they were first convicted, but that became possible because Lyle's security classification was lowered.
Fox's Jane Fergus. Palestinian protesters are burning tires at the Gaza-Israel border to block the view of Israeli snipers with the smoke on the other side of the fence. 16 Palestinians were killed with hundreds wounded during protests last week. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Clouds and 36 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. Most of the state of Illinois will spend the weekend in the icebox. National Weather Service says it will be very cold. Some areas could see snow and wind chills 5 to 15 above. Authorities are investigating what may have caused a fire on the west side that killed an elderly father and his adult daughter. Cook County Medical Examiner's Office says Arthur and Peggy Davis died in that blaze that broke out yesterday inside of a home on West Race. Chicago police are conducting a pair of investigations on attacks that appear to be connected right now. Authorities say the first incident happened early this morning on West Polk. Less than an hour later, another attack was reported in the 700 block of North Rush. Moody's Investors Services has given a thumbs down to Chicago's plans to expand O'Hare. The Sun-Times says the investment rating agency branded the $8.4 billion project to overhaul O'Hare credit negative. A group of University of Chicago students questioning why a classmate was shot by university police. This week, a rally was held on campus to protest the shooting of Charles Thomas Tuesday night near 53rd and Kimbark. Thomas faces charges of aggravated assault of a peace officer and criminal damage to property. Chicago sports, John Lester struck out 6 over 6 shutout innings. Cubs blanked the Brewers 8-0 at Miller Park. Tigers scored 3 in the 9th to tie it, twice in the 10th to win it, spoiling the home opener for the White Sox 9-7. Bulls take their 3-game win streak into Boston tonight. Blackhawks play their final home game of their disappointing season against the Blues. Jordan Spieth on top of the leaderboard after round 1 of the Masters. Our time is 7:03. The news, a service of AAA Distracted Driving Awareness Month. April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. AAA, through its Auto Club Group Traffic Safety Foundation, asks you to take the life-saving pledge not to drive distracted. When you've safely reached your destination, visit AAA.com. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity reacts to the Russia investigation.
The House Intel Committee have now ended their 14-month phase of this Russian investigation. It confirms that the media and Democrats have been flat out lying to every American for over a year with their breathless, hysterical reporting.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
7:05 on AM 560. Time for a dry basement and a healthy home. Time to call PermaSeal, 800-421-SEAL, and time to check the roads. The Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Dominic Fortini.
Getting an update from authorities on the situation in Lockport. Southbound Route 53 is closed between Division and Caton Farm because of a pickup truck that crashed into a tree with some injuries. Use some extra caution in that area. No word on when that's going to reopen. The rest of our expressway is starting to build a little bit more. Kennedy in, 33 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 19 in from the junction. 15 and a better bet in the inbound express lanes. Outbound, heavy on the west end. Montrose to Sayre, 28 minutes downtown out to O'Hare. Double-digit delays on the inbound Ike, first to the Burns Circle, 45 minutes in from Thorndale, while the inbound Stevenson slows from Central to Kedzie, 50 minutes in from 355. Brake lights on the inbound Ryan, right near the Stevenson, but it's a half hour, 95th into downtown. Southbound Tri-State, we had an earlier vehicle fire near the Waukegan Toll Plaza. That's been taken care of, a brief delay back to Route 173. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, patchy morning fog, windy and colder with clouds giving way to some sun. High 35. Tonight, mostly clear, brisk, and bitterly cold with a low 19. Mostly sunny and cold again tomorrow. High 37 and a low 26. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
36 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. And the anti-sanctuary state movement in California, hamlet by hamlet, is growing in support. This week, the Escondido City Council voted to join the Trump administration's lawsuit against Governor Moonbeam and the sanctuary state of California. And listen to what one gentleman had to say while addressing the city council prior to their vote. If we can.
Let's try this.
I speak to you as an immigrant myself. I came to this country 45 years ago with me and my mother, okay? 45 years ago, we were not offered sanctuary. We were not offered an easier, softer way, okay? We were told you have to be an American citizen, and here's what you have to do. And we did it. We worked hard, and we put in our time, okay? And I now have a piece of paper hanging on my wall called a naturalization certificate that says I am a proud United States American citizen. And if I can do it, every single person that's a dreamer in this room can do it. Every person that's undocumented in this room, they could do it too.
And I wonder if that sentiment and the movement among some California municipalities didn't inform Trump going off script in West Virginia yesterday.
When he did it his way?
Yeah, and talking and revisiting in no uncertain terms immigration as central to his policy agenda. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Brett Baer, Fox News anchor, of course, a special report, author of the book 3 Days in January, Dwight Eisenhower's Final Mission. Brett, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
What about that? What was your read on Trump going off script and doing his one-man show routine?
Yeah, I think it's not that much off script anymore. It is central to his policy agenda. It's central to what I think they think is their equation for the midterm, because they won essentially on immigration, a lot of other issues, but that was the main one in the election, and I think that they think it's a winning equation. So here's the facts. The facts are the system is screwed up along the border, and the facts are also that the numbers have doubled, almost tripled year to year, apprehensions and turnaways, and that it takes up to 3 years to get a trial if you're apprehended along the border. You have to, and the judges are totally backed up. So there is a kernel of real, honest problems that have to be ironed out with border security, and the president knows that. He is clearly firing up his base, but it's an issue that they really focus on.
Well, how many troops or National Guard members is he able to send to the border? Because I'm hearing somewhere from 2 to 6,000.
Yeah, 2 to 4,000. Now, remember that these are National Guard troops that can provide logistical support. So basically, they are taking the jobs that the Border Security Patrol would have to do, and they're doing them for the logistics support to enable the Border Patrol to do the direct apprehension activity. That's not something the military does.
And going back to California, though, and this sort of very public fight that he has had, that Jeff Sessions has had, that Tom Homan has had with various officials in California, from the governor to the attorney general on down, with some of these resolutions being passed and communities joining the lawsuit against the state of California, and just this whole issue of sanctuary state and sanctuary city, seems to me that they're making a sensible bet, which is that even if you're pro-immigration and pro-path to citizenship and you want to be compassionate to people that are escaping persecution or seeking more opportunity and want to come to this country, sanctuary city, sanctuary state is a bridge too far, and even among a majority of general election voters.
Exactly. Listen, that question polls higher than most on where you feel you line up with the Trump administration, not using the word Trump, but just the question, do you agree with sanctuary cities, sanctuary states? Independence, it does not, it tracks high that people don't really sign on to that. They think there should be a process where the federal government and the state and city governments are working together, not that they're ignoring federal law.
Yesterday, President Trump broke his silence on Stormy Daniels. He claims that he didn't know his attorney paid her $130,000. Do you think that's possible? That he didn't know?
No.
And what about campaign funds? I mean,
no,
but they're alleging, because they're trying to get him somehow, some way.
It's hard to fathom how that all goes down. That Michael Cohen just suddenly takes a loan on his house for $130,000, and the guy that he's representing and is going to be elected president in 10 days doesn't have any clue. It strains credulity a little bit there, don't you think?
Yeah.
I don't know where it's going to go.
They're trying to tie it to campaign funds.
Yeah, I think it was surprising that he answered the way he did. I would assume he would have just kind of walked away from the question. But I do think, it stirs the pot again. And clearly Stormy Daniels' lawyer took to Twitter and said that this is going to be great for their case. So I think we're likely to hear much more about this as, I don't know how many people want to hear much more about it, but it's still an issue. And the FEC part of it is real.
Well, it was interesting, as you said, that he responded. It's a good reminder, perhaps to him, and maybe somebody around him can make this case, that this is why we do not want you to sit down with Bob Mueller. Certainly not under oath. This is Exhibit A in terms of the case against sitting down with Bob Mueller. I want to get to something else, though, this week in the media with the furor that was created over this BuzzFeed hit on Sinclair, and just the idea of and per a Victor Davis Hanson piece in National Review we were talking about earlier in the show, this idea of transparency in media winning out over the fairy tale of objective media. In other words, I come to the table with a particular worldview, and it's there for your consumption, and you can factor that into the news coverage I provide, however you so choose, because I trust the viewer or the reader, rather than this woozy dreamland where journalists at the Amazon Post and everywhere else are objective scriveners of the passing scene with no agenda, no worldview, no opinions on anything.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. I think that's fairy tale. We all have thoughts and feelings, and but the best journalists, you don't know. You know, you don't know because they provide both sides. I think that it's not this whole thing about Sinclair. I think it was creepy to watch that video where they're all reading at the same time, but the substance of what was being said in there was essentially, we're going to try really hard to be fair, and if you don't think we are, write us, give us a call, let us know what you think.
Right.
I mean, I don't think the message was that ominous or scary. It was kind of like, we're going to try really hard. And I think there are a lot of news organizations who could probably try to say the same thing.
Well, and look, the best reporter in D.C. for my money is your colleague Catherine Herridge, and but she doesn't get criticized the same way as some more outspoken kind of opinion analyst hosts like Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or whatever, because she does a different job. But this idea, everybody at Fox News is this, and everybody at MSNBC is that, and everybody. I mean, it's just so juvenile. I mean, don't you get sick of it being in the bubble that you're, being in, as a key player inside that bubble?
I mean, listen, I've been there 21 years. Wow. I've been fighting this battle every single day. I mean, people paint with a broad brush, and the people who don't watch Fox News, they're most likely the most vocal. And I've told you guys many times, for the critics, I say, watch my show 3 times and let me know what you think, if it was fair. And most say it was.
Yeah, you're very balanced, that's for sure.
All right, that's good commentary from somebody who's been, as you said, fighting that battle for 21 years, so he knows more. He knows it better than most. Brett Baer, Fox News anchor, of course, special report, 5 p.m. Chicago time, weekdays, and the book, 3 Days in January, Dwight Eisenhower's Final Mission. Brett, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
See you guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, what would you do for a 10% pay raise? You'll be shocked at what Americans are willing to give up or do. But first, here's your forecast. Patchy fog this morning. It's going to be windy, cold, a high of 35. Tonight, a low of 19. And then Saturday, sunny, a high of 37. But if you factor in the wind chill, it'll feel like 5 to 10 degrees. It's going to be nice. And then on Sunday, increasing cloudiness, a high near 40. And on Monday, for the Chicago Cubs home opener, we're going to have a bit of snow, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches. Good times. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Dominic Fortini and for Jim Talamonte.
Evens in both directions at 21 minutes in between Lake Cook and the Junction this morning. Inbound Kennedy getting hung up right around the Junction. Then again near Division, 33 minutes in from O'Hare, 19 in from Montrose, 15 a better choice in those inbound express lanes. Watch for delays on the inbound Ike. They're stacking up traffic First Avenue into the Burns Circle. 45 minutes in from Thorndale, 32 in from Manheim. Brake lights on the inbound Stevenson near Central, 50 minutes in from 355, while the inbound Ryan Hung up in the express lanes at 35th. Locals jam up right about the Stevenson, 30 minutes, 95th into downtown. And we've got some backups northbound Tri-State this morning between 95th and the Hinsdale Oasis. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, Radioland, Ken here from Income Store. Did you know making money is like a combination lock? If you know the numbers and the proper order of the numbers, it has to open. The lock doesn't know or care if you're 8 or 80 years old. It has to open. Making money is the same way. When you know the steps and know the right order for the steps, revenue generation has to happen. As we like to say at Income Store, if you know the steps to take and you take the steps, revenue will be created. For close to a decade, we have proved to thousands of households and businesses that adding an additional revenue stream is not magic or luck. Both Forbes and Inc. praise Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to creating revenue for a home or business. If you'd like to see exactly how anyone from a teenager with more time than money to an executive with more money than time can add a revenue stream to their home or business, just open one of the 2 entry doors you'll find at incomestore.com. That's incomestore.com.
Hey, thinking of getting engaged to that special person in your life? Well, then you need to visit Roland's Jewelers. Engagements are about trust, and Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville has earned customers' trust for more than 50 years. Roland's offers beautiful engagement rings from designers like Hearts on Fire, Simon G., A. Jaffe, I messed that up, and Gabriel. They're a direct diamond importer, which means wholesale prices on quality loose diamonds. For a limited time, Roland's is excited to offer AM 560 listeners a free wedding band up to $500 when you purchase that engagement ring. So visit RolandsJewelers.com to see their amazing collection. Let Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville make your engagement experience truly memorable. Visit RolandsJewelers.com. Roland's, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I would take this probably about 2 years. I haven't had a cold or the flu since. I know it works. It does work. I'm one of those individuals. I own my own companies. I run like a nut. So I don't have the time to sit down and have the fruits and the vegetables and everything like that for dinners and all that stuff. So it's a tried and true product. I believe in it. I can safely say, have not had a cold, have not had a flu. I do believe in it. I do believe it works. I do, I know the vegetables and the fruits and all that stuff is the best for you, and this is a great way to get it, and it's natural and it works.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
So there's a new survey out. They asked 1,238 U.S. employees what they would do for a 10% salary increase. And it's unbelievable what some of them said. 35% said they would give up their right to vote. I would never do that. I'd take a pay cut. I would always want to keep my right to vote.
Probably the 35%, or 35 of the 50% who don't vote. So
Exactly.
they're not really giving up anything. They're giving up something they don't use.
9% said they would give up their child's right to vote in exchange for a raise. But you said there's a catch with that, right?
Well, their child's right to vote, that's a trick question because their child would be under voting age. So they're pulling a fast one.
Yeah. Some other notable things. They said they'd give up for a 10% raise. I don't know if you could do this, Dan. Are you ready? 88% would give up watching Game of Thrones for life. Do we have the Game of Thrones music? That's your favorite show, right? Isn't it one of your favorites?
That's a good show.
Yeah. Well, would you want a 10% raise to never, ever watch Game of Thrones again?
I don't bargain for raises this way. This because I'm not an infant, and I prefer not to defile myself for money, especially 10%. But
So you
money
don't
in general.
What about 40%? Or what about a 50% raise to give up watching Game of Thrones?
This is the Lord Beaverbrook case study, which is the offering of money for relations.
Oh.
And then being rejected. And then what about this? And then being open-minded.
Hypothetically, yeah.
So now we've established you're a prostitute. We're just negotiating over price.
Yeah. So
no.
50% raise for never watching Game of Thrones.
No.
Okay. What about 73%? Are you ready for this? Said that they would give up alcoholic beverages for the next 5 years, not for life, but for the next 5 years for a 10% raise.
10%? I mean, we're not talking about life-changing money here, but we are talking about life-changing behavior.
Right.
Life-changing behavior in return for not life-changing money. Does that sound like a good deal to you?
No, it doesn't. I
No.
don't. All right.
Right.
55% would work an extra 10 hours per week for life. What?
Well, okay.
All right. 53% would give up all social media for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you could do that? I don't think I could give up social media for 5 years, not even for a year. 50% would give up watching movies for the next 3 years. 50% would work 1 day every weekend for the next year. For 10%, I don't think it's worth that. 53% would give up exercise for the next 5 years. Now, I couldn't do that for 5 days, let alone 5 years. Could you give up exercising? Because I know you're a real gym rat.
I could do all of these things. I'm not going to do those things. That's, I guess, the difference. This is you're, of course, bearing the lead. The most important subsets here, the 12% who would break up with their partner or significant other for a 10% bump in salary. So again.
Yeah, you know what? Just take her. I'll take the cash, honey. It's for the team. I'll see you in a few years.
For those, there's some who say I can't put a price on this relationship. There are others that can put a price on it. It's 10% of what I make.
312-642-5600. What would you give up for a 10% raise?
Give up or do.
Or
because
do.
This is a little bit of truth or dare. Like 5% would eat a Tide Pod.
Why would 5% would eat a Tide? A single Tide Pod.
5% would probably snort a condom too. That's a big new thing.
Oh, what is it?
Snorting condoms.
What is? I've never heard of that.
Condom snorting? Oh yeah, it's everybody's doing that.
Condoms? How do you get it? You can't get it in.
You snort it up your nose, comes out your mouth.
That is so.
It's a little bit of a biology lesson.
Disgusting. Are they doing that on YouTube?
The kids. The kids keep up, man. The kids. It's just what everybody does.
I had to get rid of those Tide Pods just in case anyone wanted to,
That's what, all those
YouTube video.
All those tech companies with loft spaces and stuff. They have like kiosks now. They've got your ping pong, you got your bumper pool, and then they've got kiosks now. They got kiosks now for condom snorting. It's a thing. Jim in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Disgusting.
You notice how they orient this towards how much would you pay more to government, or to, in that, why wouldn't you ask them how many of these people would trade in going to the polling place and voting for the next 10 years in trade of voting in a 10% of their pay reduction in taxes?
Yeah, right. There you go. That's the way, right. Incentivize productive behavior. What a concept. Thanks for the call,
And for
Jim.
you men out there, 18.9% would give up access to health insurance for the next 5 years.
We don't
that
go to
is just dumb.
We don't go to the doctor anyway.
Why?
It's
I had
easy.
so many emails from men telling me yesterday they just wanted to reach out and let me know why they don't go to the doctor. And a lot of them said because I just don't want to know.
Yeah.
Why do I want to know? Then I'll have to go to the doctor and then see more doctors.
Well, then I got to do something about it. I don't want to do
40%.
anything about it.
All right, 40% would give up dental care. So do you get your teeth cleaned every 6 months, Mr. Prof?
About every 6 months, but yeah, I go to the dentist.
Yeah. Do you have any cavities?
Not recently. I mean, it's so weird. The story. When did this show become an adjunct of Eric in the morning? I mean, honestly, what is this we're talking about?
It's Eric and Friends.
Whatever.
La 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 ka-ching.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
It's still hard to tell the difference between Congressman Todd Rokita and Congressman Luke Messer. Rokita and Messer are two career politicians, and for nearly 30 years, they've lived on the taxpayer dole. 30 years. They're both lawyers who never practiced, and their records in Congress are the same too. In Washington, Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted to fast-track Obama's bad trade deals, to add $500 billion to our debt, and even to fund liberal priorities like Obama's executive amnesty, not to mention funding for abortion provider Planned Parenthood. In fact, Todd Rokita and Luke Messer have voted the exact same way in Congress 95% of the time. It's true. This election, remember, Todd Rokita and Luke Messer are the same. They're two career politicians, and they're wrong for Indiana.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Mark Robinson in Greensboro, North Carolina, has a message to the entire country, but he delivered it to the city council there. We'll have it at 7:37.
And later, the job numbers are out. We'll have Scott Shellady on to discuss. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
36 degrees, and right now we have cloudy skies. It'll be chilly through the weekend. Full update on your weather forecast in just a moment. President Trump says he now wants tariffs on an additional $100 billion worth of Chinese products. The president ordering up an examination of that possibility yesterday. Facebook's chief operating officer Sheryl Sandberg says, if you want no advertising on the social media platform, you're going to have to pay for it. In an interview with Today, Sandberg acknowledged that users can't choose to opt out of sharing all of their data because the company, in her words, depends on it. Georgia authorities investigating the death of a CDC scientist say right now there's no evidence of foul play. Timothy Cunningham had been missing for nearly 2 months when his body was discovered Tuesday on the banks of the Chattahoochee River near Atlanta. Teachers in Oklahoma are expected to pack the state capitol again today when the Oklahoma Senate meets to discuss education funding. Teachers in that state are in day 5 of a wildcat walkout. Schools in Oklahoma City and Tulsa will be shut down. Most of the state of Illinois, this first full weekend of April, is in the icebox. National Weather Service is actually warning that some wind chill factors could be in the single-digit range in parts of the state tomorrow. Chicago police this morning are investigating a pair of attacks. Right now, they appear to be connected. The first incident happened early this morning when a man was beaten and robbed by 5 in the first block of West Polk. Less than an hour later, another man was beaten by what police believe to be the same group of 5 people in the 700 block of North Rush. Moody's Investors Service giving a thumbs down to Chicago's plans to expand O'Hare. Sun-Times is reporting the investment rating agency branded the $8.4 billion project to overhaul O'Hare credit negative. The president of the University of Illinois says he wants to keep tuition there where it is for the next 2 years. U of I President Tim Killeen saying state lawmakers need to fund the University of Illinois more to make that happen. U of I asking for a 10% increase in state funding. Chicago sports, John Lester struck out 6 over 6 shutout innings of work. Cubs blanked the Brewers 8-0 at Miller Park. Tigers took 10 innings, but they beat the White Sox in the home opener on the South Side 9-7. Bulls take their 3-game winning streak into Boston tonight. Blackhawks will retain Coach Joel Quenneville and GM Stan Bowman after their dismal season. Jordan Spieth on top of the leaderboard after round 1 of the Masters. The News is a service of the USDHHS Health Resources and Services Administration. Here's a question for National Donate Life Month. Can you name all the 8 life-saving organs that can be transplanted? Here's a hint. With some organs, you can donate too. Get the facts. Learn more and save lives. Go to organdonor.gov. 7:33 is our time, and we'll have a check of traffic and weather coming up next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains the best way to stop a school shooter.
The only way to stop these people is by shooting them. Obviously, some can be stopped in advance. The issue of if we have more gun laws, these people will be stopped. If they really were to work, then we would have to seriously consider them.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Stop by a Subway restaurant for the new double meat signature wraps for just $6.99 each. Prices may vary. Additional charge for extras plus applicable tax. Double meat based on average 6-inch sub.
Nobody should have to live with depression. Not anymore.
It's a new year. Time for a new you.
Abilify, Wellbutrin, Seroquel, Rexulti. These are common drugs prescribed for depression. You may be able to get off the drugs and the endless counseling. You've heard about the revolutionary TMS therapy.
Now it's time to get a free consultation from HPR centers.
And your frustration with life and relationships. In a few short weeks, your life will change. It's FDA cleared, safe, and it's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare. TMS therapy treats the cause of your depression. Millions have been treated. The results, nothing short of outstanding. HPR centers are proud to bring TMS therapy to Chicagoland and Milwaukee.
You need to take the first step. Call.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
HPR centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
7:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
This is the part of the morning where our area roadways start to take a nosedive in terms of traffic conditions. Inbound side of the Kennedy now at 37 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 25 in from the junction, 22 in the inbound express lanes. You're jammed in from the junction through the Burn Circle. Outbound delays, Irving Park to Sayre on the west end, a manageable 29 minutes downtown out to O'Hare. Double-digit delays inbound Ike to Splains into the Burn Circle, 50 minutes in from Thorndale, 37 in from Manheim. Inbound Stevenson getting thicker, central through the Ryan. 58 minutes overall, 3:55 into the drive, while the inbound Ryan hits the brakes at 31st, 35 minutes in from 95th. And some heavier traffic northbound Tri-State beginning near 95th. Traffic's a service of Staples. Staples knows running out of ink is no way to do business. Help keep your business working and your printers printing. Go to Staples for a huge selection of ink and toner and find your ink in stock every time and at a low price every day so you can meet every deadline. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Patchy morning fog, windy, colder. Clouds will yield to a bit of sunshine, high near 35. Clear, brisk, and bitterly cold, low 19. Currently 36 degrees. Your next news update comes your way at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, when was the last time you went to a city council meeting? When was the last time you went to a school board meeting? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Because it turns out this whole experiment in representative Republican small r government rises or falls with ordinary Americans. Bob Anderson, the octogenarian barber up in McHenry Township, trying to do what all the politicians talk about, consolidate redundant layers of local government. He's actually been spearheading it for 25 years and is making some progress, but it's been painstaking, and he's had to suffer a lot of slings and arrows and nails in the parking lot of his business to do so. And we played before we talked to Brett Baer at the top of the hour. this gentleman from Escondido who had a message to the Dreamers about coming to this country and working hard and working through the legal process to become a naturalized citizen, which is what he did 45 years ago. And in Greensboro, North Carolina, Mark Robinson showed up to the city council meeting because he had something to say about his Second Amendment right to self-protection and a lot more to say about how we have it all upside down in this country, where we treat criminals as victims, we demonize the police, and we fleece and infringe upon the law-abiding. That's not the promise of America.
What I really came down here for is this. I've heard a whole lot of people in here talking tonight about this group and that group, and domestic violence and blacks, these minorities and that minority. What I want to know is, when are you all going to start standing up for the majority? And here's who the majority is. I'm the majority. I'm a law-abiding citizen who's never shot anybody, never committed a serious crime, never committed a felony. I've never done anything like that. But it seems like every time we have one of these shootings, nobody wants to put the blame where it goes, which is at the shooter's feet. You want to put it at my feet. You want to turn around and restrict my right, constitutional right that's spelled out in black and white. You want to restrict my right to buy a firearm and protect myself from some of the very people you're talking about in here tonight. It's ridiculous. I don't think Rod Serling could come up with a better script. It does not make any sense. The law-abiding citizens of this community and many communities around this country, we're the first ones taxed and the last ones considered and the first ones punished when things like this happens, because our rights are the ones that are being taken away. That's the reason why I came down here today. Gun show or no gun show, NRA or no NRA. I'm here to stand up for the law-abiding citizens of this community, because I'm going to tell you that what's going to happen. You can take the guns away from us all you want to. You all write a law, I follow the law, I'll bring my guns down here, I'll turn them in. But here's what's going to happen. The Crips and the Bloods on the other side of town, they're not going to turn their guns in. They're going to hold on to them. And what's going to happen when you have to send the police down there to go take them? The police can barely enforce the law as it is. As what I see, we demonize the police, criminalize and vilify the police, and we make the criminals into victims. And we're talking about restricting guns? How are you going to do that?
I want to live in Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. Do you? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer
See
line.
what you did there. That's good. I mean, that needed to be said. And it's true, and as much as I don't like extended magazines, and I've ranted about that, I don't want in Deerfield police coming into someone's house and having the ability to take that away from them, because nobody has committed a crime. And people, again, are vilified because they own guns. And they own guns that people on the left don't understand because they're fearful of weapons, because they've never handled them. They've never had a friend or a family member, talk to them about it, walk them through the process. I remember I became familiarized with weapons when I lived in Tucson, and I had a friend who was a gun owner, and we went to the shooting range. And then I learned, and then I got a permit, and I owned a weapon for a while. And that's how you walk people through it. You just don't automatically go to DEFCON 5 like, let's take it all away.
Well, let me tell you something. It's people like Mark Robinson who stand between us and tyranny. I mean, it really is. Mark Robinson wants to stand and fight. Most people are happy to live on their knees. And he's the difference between enjoying the full complement of our God-given constitutional rights and not. People like Mark Robinson.
Well, I'm here to tell you tonight, it is not going to happen without a fight. And when I say fight, I don't mean shots fired. I don't mean fist thrown. I mean I'm going to come down here to this city council and raise hell just like these loonies from the left do until you listen to the majority of the people in this city. And I am the majority. Because the bottom line is, when that Second Amendment was written, whether the framers liked it or not, they wrote it for everybody. And I am everybody. And the law-abiding citizens of this city are everybody. And we want our rights, and we want to keep our rights. And by God, we're going to keep them, come hell or high water.
And that received applause at the end, and then people standing up saying, I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus.
I am Spartacus.
I am Mark Robinson. I am Mark Robinson. Honestly, it was like an I am Spartacus moment. Fantastic. Applaud this guy. James in Westmont, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, you two. Yeah, I'd like to buy that guy a cigar and drink.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, definitely. Did you hear any rebuttal to him, like from the loony left, as he put it, which is actually a great phrase? I'm just curious because I'm sure one of them had to say something about him being. They're probably calling him a lunatic by now, I would imagine.
Yeah, thanks for the call, James. I didn't catch the entire Greensboro City Council meeting or the public comment section, so I don't know if there were other speakers or there was any response from the City Council. I'm sure there was no response from the City Council, but I didn't catch any of the loony left that was coming down there to obviously prompt the City Council to move with gun regulations, regulation of gun shows, because you heard that Robinson mentioned that, and that's in part what he was responding to. David in McCook.
Hey, happy Friday, guys. Kudos to that guy. Finally, somebody is speaking the truth. I wanted to ask, I saw a news article last night on the national news where some guy, I forgot where it was running around. He had a pipe with a handle on it, pointing it at people. It looked like a gun. And the cops shot the guy, and now the blacks are already going to protest. They shouldn't have shot poor Tyrone. He was a good boy. Just sick and tired of it.
Thanks, David.
Was that the case in Brooklyn? Because then we had a University of Chicago student that wore this daunting mask and was carrying it looked like a pipe, and he was smashing windows, and they're trying to get him to surrender, to drop the weapon, and they shot at him. He's fine. He's not,
he was also arrested for assaulting police.
Yeah. Did you see the picture of that? He looked.
So there seems to have been some physical incident between him and police, and so the mystery solved in terms of why force was used. Apparently, Colleen in Plainfield.
That gentleman spoke so eloquently for every single law-abiding citizen in this country. All of us sit around our tables. We talk to our neighbors. We talk to our church friends. We all say the same thing. It's out there for everyone to hear.
Oh, wait. We all say the same thing. You cut out for a second there. What is it?
We all say the same thing. We talk to our neighbors. We talk to our church friends. And he put it so eloquently and said what all of us maybe sometimes can't say or don't say.
Yeah.
And he stood up for every law-abiding citizen in this nation.
That's exactly right. Thanks for the call, Colleen. No, that's right. I mean, people play by the rules, the law-abiding. He's the majority. I am Spartacus. I am Mark Robinson. But the question is, you're just going to applaud him or are you going to emulate him? Yeah, because the emulating him is a little bit more difficult, isn't it? That means you have to get after your elected officials, hold them accountable. You have to make the time to go to a board meeting and speak your piece, get involved, educate those in your circle of influence. Right. Emulating is tougher than just applauding. We got a lot of people who applaud. I don't think we have enough people who emulate the example of Mark Robinson, for example. Alan in Rockford.
Morning, Dan, Amy. Listen, Mark Robinson's got the most lucid argument I've heard, and everybody should memorize it and go to their city councils. But then last night on Chicago Fire, Dick Wolf, the anti-gunner that has more guns on his show than probably anybody else, does a 60-second scene where the fire department shows up to rescue a couple of guys that have been put down, and then all of a sudden 15 guys on each side, a gang war erupts with automatic weapons, and they're firing over their heads, and they use the scene to, one, poke at the police and say, you're late to the party, we saved it, we did it, and then at the same time another ambulance shows up to pick up two of the wounded people, and they say, oh, if they don't have insurance, we can't pick them up, you got to take them to county. So he goes after guns, he goes after universal health care, and he goes after the police in 60 seconds, and that's what we have to talk about.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for the call, Alan. I mean, yeah,
you could just watch Roseanne. I watched plowed through. I was just going to try it out, and I couldn't stop watching it last night.
Alan,
that is great.
Take a break today. It's a tradition unlike any other. Just lay back and watch the Masters. That's what I'm going to do. Take Friday off. We all need a break, I think. Ralph and Rantoul.
For Tiger's big comeback.
Yeah.
Good morning. I think ignorance plays a part, like Amy said, and I think that people want instant solutions. There are already laws on the books against crimes, and apparently they've not eliminated crimes, so there must be something else going on. But this gentleman who spoke up and spoke very plainly about the real problem. Here's the issue. Most people won't do anything about it. And so if you stand up there and you rail against your politicians, but you're not willing to point at them and saying, you know what, I know your names, we're going to hold you accountable, we're going to run people against you and remove their butts from office, that's what they really don't want.
Then you get Illinois. Yeah, that's right.
Yep. They don't want to lose their power. Unless you're willing to run them out and then do something about it, nothing will change, and it will get worse.
Thanks, Ralph. Mike in Geneva.
Good morning, Amy and Dan. Mr. Robinson has got the right idea. And, if we hadn't had the Second Amendment, west of the Mississippi, we'd probably be speaking Japanese. East of the Mississippi, we'd be talking German. But the left, the underlying feeling of the left is to take away our line of defense. If they take away my Second Amendment rights, I would have no possibility of defending myself and possibly you at one time or another. It's a communistic situation.
Thanks. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
At the bottom line, it's pure communist. That happened in Cuba. It happened in Russia. It happened in Germany. It happened in and it's happening now.
Anywhere where there's totalitarianism, there's a disarmed populace. Yes. Thanks for the call, Mike. George and Monique.
Hey, Dan, I'm right with Mr. Robertson, right up to the point where he said if they pass a law, I'll come down and turn in my stuff because you've already lost.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask the Indians how that worked out for them?
All right. Thanks, George. Mike in Round Lake Beach.
Hey, Dan, Amy. What well-regulated state militia is Mr. Robinson part of? And for that matter, what well-regulated state militia are you guys part of?
Hey, Mike, have you read the Heller decision?
Yes, I have. And
Heller, then the Heller decision.
Yes, I have. And Heller also states
what's the Heller decision? What's the holding in Heller?
The holding in Heller is that the state militia is thrown away. Heller also says that there should be
the Heller. Excuse me, Mike. Since you won't. All right. Bye, Mike. Bye, Mike. Bye, Mike. Bye, Mike.
Is he just a little off on that?
The Heller decision, they said the state militia is no longer whatever he said. That's his way of trying to get around the Heller decision, the Supreme Court. So I don't know. Do you abide the law of the land, Mike? Because I don't agree with the Roe v. Wade decision, but I abide the rule of law, just as Mr. Robinson does. Do you abide the rule of law, Mike? Gun banner? And also, go back and look at the oral history surrounding the Second Amendment. It couldn't be more clear that the founders intended it to be an individual right, and that was inculcated into Supreme Court jurisprudence in the 5-4 decision in Heller where Scalia wrote the majority opinion. Individual right, Mike from Round Lake Beach, disingenuous hack. Bye.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Living in Illinois, I know something of the ravages of big government republicanism. It's an approach to governance that sends people scurrying for the exits before the bills come due. Which is why Trump's decision to fund Obamacare and Planned Parenthood, bump up the subsidies for PHAT-approved art, and reward the swamp monsters with increased office allotments was a disastrous one. Illinois is a model to discontinue, not replicate. In Illinois, the physical exodus from the state has cemented the GOP as the superminority party. Nationally, the evacuation will be of a partisan nature, not a physical one, but the result will be the same: Democrat control. In 2008 and 2012, the nation chose to scale Chicago Democrat governance nationally. It did no better inside the Beltway than it's done in the land of Lincoln, and officially decreed Trump-free zone. If Trump was looking for a Midwestern model to emulate, he would have done better to look to the states he actually won or ask his vice president.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
It really works, so I'm a big fan. Whatever you're putting in there is good stuff. Well, I'm never without them. I tell you, I've been taking them steadily since I started with you people, and it's really, like I said, I don't get to eat enough vegetables or fruit. And this is really a godsend, to be able to just pop a couple of pills and that's it. It's good.
I'm just seeing a physical result of my new regime. My fingernails are finally growing and getting stronger, so that's great. And I know something is changing.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for upstream-ideas.com. Living in Illinois, I know something of the ravages of big government republicanism. It's an approach to governance that sends people scurrying for the exits before the bills come due, which is why Trump's decision to fund Obamacare and Planned Parenthood, bump up the subsidies for PHAT-approved art, and reward the swamp monsters with increased office allotments was a disastrous one. Illinois is a model to discontinue, not replicate. In Illinois, the physical exodus from the state has cemented the GOP as the superminority party. Nationally, the evacuation will be of a partisan nature, not a physical one, but the result will be the same. Democrat control. In 2008 and 2012, the nation chose to scale Chicago Democrat governance nationally. It did no better inside the Beltway than it's done in the land of Lincoln, and officially decreed Trump-free zone. If Trump was looking for a Midwestern model to emulate, he would have done better to look to the states he actually won, or ask his vice president.
As a small business owner, you're juggling it all, including customers' calls from your personal phone. But with Grasshopper, you get a business phone number and a business phone system from our mobile app, so you can work smarter, not harder. Grasshopper forwards calls, texts, even transcribes voicemails. Everything you need to simplify your business and stay responsive. With Grasshopper, there's no long-term contracts, and customer support is 24/7. Whether you're starting or growing your business, Grasshopper is the answer. Now get $20 off your first month when you visit grasshopper.com/radio.
Ulta Beauty's 21 Days of Beauty is here. With new beauty steals every day, it's beauty's biggest event, which means it's also beauty's biggest makeup bag makeover event. And beauty's biggest, is that price real, event. And beauty's biggest, well, you get the point. At Ulta Beauty's 21 Days of Beauty, every day is a new chance to get up to 50% off our most loved brands, like IT Cosmetics, Tarte, and more. But the event ends April 7th, so hurry in to binge on beauty only at Ulta Beauty.
Spring is here. It's Amy Jacobson, and I suggest you add this to your spring cleaning. Throw out that old flat pillow and buy your very own new MyPillow. Not only will it keep its shape and adjust your ideal sleeping position, but you can wash and dry it whenever you want. And yes, the best MyPillow 4-pack deal is still available. Go online or call now to take advantage of this great deal. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the MyPillow 4-pack deal with 2 premium MyPillows and my favorite, those 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows at 50% off. Start spring out right. No more headaches or stiff neck with your hypoallergenic Made in America MyPillow with its 10-year warranty plus that 60-day money-back guarantee. So get your 50% off the MyPillow 4-pack today. Call 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201. Promo code Amy.
AM 560, The Answer.
Next big live event is coming up Thursday, May 17th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. It's Cigar Night with Larry Elder and me. We'll sit down, light up a couple of fine cigars, enjoy a mature libation together, and discuss the big issues facing our country. It's all fair game with Larry Elder and myself at Cigar Night. Tickets on sale right now. Premium tickets include a VIP meet and greet reception with Larry and me, along with a copy of Larry's forthcoming book and a complimentary cigar. The last time we did this event last year with Prager, it was great, sold out. So go to 560theanswer.com/cigar. That's 560theanswer.com/cigar. Larry Elder and me on May 17 at Bolingbrook Golf Club.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, the job numbers are out, and they are shocking. We'll break them down with the one and only Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Illinois bracing for one final wintry weekend. We'll tell you how low those wind chills will go. Elderly father and adult daughter killed in a West Side fire. Chicago Fire are investigating. The New York Stock Exchange will buy the Chicago Stock Exchange. A rally held to protest a police shooting of a University of Chicago student. Tigers beat the White Sox in their home opener. Cubs blanked the Brewers. Bulls at the Celtics later tonight. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
A hiring frenzy slows down. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The March jobs report released by the Labor Department a few minutes ago. It's okay compared to what we've been seeing. Here's more from Fox's Jenny Casola.
Chris, the job market was weaker than expected in March. It appears severe storms impacted construction. Retail job creation was also disappointing. There were 103,000 new jobs created. The unemployment rate held steady at 4.1%. Americans made a little more money. Average hourly pay increased by 2.7% compared with a year ago. There's an encouraging sign. February's numbers were revised stronger. 326,000 jobs were created in February. Chris?
And ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street, Dow futures are down 191. New economic sanctions just announced against 24 Russians, businessmen and government officials. Any American assets are frozen. Americans are prohibited from doing business with them. A Treasury Department statement says it's over a range of issues, including Russian cyber attacks and election meddling. The president is looking to maybe impose even more tariffs on imports from China. Here's Fox's John Decker at the White House.
President Trump has directed U.S. trade officials to identify an additional $100 billion in tariffs on Chinese goods. White House trade advisor Peter Navarro said the president is focused on defending America's economic interests.
He has a great relationship with the president of China. This is business, and this is the kind of business where we have to stand firm against China's unfair trade practices.
President Trump said in a radio interview this morning that tariffs on China may cause a little pain, but he insisted that there is no trade war. Chris?
And John, as a member, you've heard by now, President Trump will not be attending the White House Correspondents Association dinner.
The press is so bad, it's so fake.
The president on the Bernie and Sid morning show on WABC AM in New York. He didn't go to the event last year either. Fox News, fair and balanced.
It is 33 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, a wind chill of 28 above at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. And good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Most of the state of Illinois will start the first full weekend of April in the deep freeze. National Weather Service says it will be very cold across the state tomorrow and Sunday. Some areas could see snow. Chicago fire officials are investigating in looking into what may have caused a fire on Chicago's west side that killed an elderly father and his adult daughter. 2 others in the home were hospitalized. They are expected to survive. A former social worker at the Elgin Mental Health Center is accused of having sexual relations with a patient at that facility. Christine Lenhart was charged yesterday with sexual misconduct with a person with disabilities and official misconduct. A group of University of Chicago students are questioning why a classmate was shot by a university police officer this week. Rally was held yesterday on campus. You hear that, and they are protesting the shooting of Charles Thomas Tuesday night near 53rd and Kimbark. Thomas himself faces charges of aggravated assault of a peace officer and criminal damage to property. Chicago sports, John Lester struck out 6 over 6 shutout innings of work. Cubs beat the Brewers at Miller Park 8-0. Tigers over the White Sox in the home opener 9-7 at the rate. 3-game set has today off and starts back up tomorrow afternoon. Bulls take their 3-game win streak into Boston tonight. Jordan Spieth is your leader after round 1 of the Masters. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Delta Airlines now says the hacking of its web chat function last fall could have involved hundreds of thousands of customers. Delta says it found out about the malware attack last week. The breach exposed credit card information but not personal records. The airline says the hacking didn't involve bookings made on its app or mobile platform. Sears uses the same third party for its web chats, and Sears says up to 100,000 customer credit cards could have been impacted. Netflix is interested in buying a Los Angeles-based billboard company. Reuters says the movie streaming company is offering more than $300 million to buy Regency Outdoor Advertising. Trade is back in focus this morning after President Trump revealed he's considering tariffs on another $100 billion in Chinese imports, and the Labor Department releases its March employment report this morning. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
It's 8:05. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder explains why we see so many fatherless children.
The primary reason that we're having the proliferation of kids raised without fathers is because of the ease with which a woman can marry the government and the ease with which this enables the man to abandon his financial and moral responsibility. Overwhelmingly, the reason for the rise in out-of-wedlock birth rate, in my opinion, is that we are subsidizing slovenly behavior.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Are you thinking of getting engaged to that special person in your life? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I've got the perfect place for you. Engagements are all about trust, of course, and Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville has earned customers' trust for over 50 years. Roland's offers beautiful engagement rings, designers like Hearts on Fire, Simon G., A. Jaffe, and Gabriel. They're a direct diamond importer, which means wholesale prices on quality loose diamonds. And for a limited time, Roland's is thrilled to offer AM 560 listeners a free wedding band up to $500 when you purchase an engagement ring. Visit RolandsJewelers.com and see their amazing collection. Let Roland's Jewelers, downtown Libertyville, make your engagement experience truly memorable. I'm a customer. I proudly wear a watch that I bought from Roland's Jewelers. You can visit them online, RolandsJewelers.com, ROLLANDS, RolandsJewelers.com. Visit Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
It's 8:07 and time to check the roads. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Dominic.
In Elk Grove Village, crews are still on the scene of a semi that's into a gas station at Rowling and Devon and Lockport. Southbound Route 53 closed. Division to Caton Farm with a crash at North Barrington. An accident at Half Day on Route 59. Inbound Kennedy, 35 minutes in from O'Hare. Hung up at Irving Park with delays on the inbound Ike. Right around Austin, 50 minutes in from Thorndale, 35 in from Manheim. Brake lights on the inbound Stevenson slow you up at Central, an hour in from 355, 50 in from the Tri-State. Slowdowns on the inbound Ryan affecting travel near 31st, 35 minutes 95th in, only 15 on the return trip. Double-digit delays on northbound Lakeshore Drive from the Stevenson to Jackson, and northbound Tri-State starts to slow right near 88. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Clouds giving way to some sun today. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour, high 35. Mostly clear, brisk, and cold tonight, low 19. Mostly sunny for tomorrow, high 37, partly cloudy night, low 26. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, we have 34 degrees officially at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and some breaking news. Trump has imposed sanctions, economic sanctions, on 7 of the oligarchs that form part of Putin's inner circle. So again, boy, it's an odd strategy by Putin's man in D.C. to be negatively impacting those financiers of Putin and his inner circle of bad actors with big resources. The New York Times begrudgingly, I'm sure, reporting. So there's that. The other breaking news is that 103,000 jobs in March.
103?
I think, didn't ADP have it at 241? I think ADP reported they projected 241. So you just can't trust ADP anymore. And if you can't trust Trump to be the Manchurian candidate for Putin, and if you can't trust ADP on jobs numbers anymore, I mean, I don't know who to trust. Maybe we can still trust Scott the Cow Guy, who joins us now. Scott Shellady, Fox Business contributor. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Great lead-in.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that.
It follows you wherever you go, that sound, right?
So what about those numbers, Scott? That's not what we were hoping for.
No, you're right. And the ADP did print a 241 number when we were expecting not quite as much, around 210. So the ADP number was good, and this one was equally as bad. There was a small revision higher. But you know what? Unless it was wildly offside, which would have been, this would have had to have been a negative or something over 400,000, it's still going to be all about the tariff tantrum that was thrown overnight, because that's really what's been moving the market today. And I guess if you watched everything that we watch, everything just blinked an eye at this payroll report.
What about
Didn't do anything.
What about the unemployment rate? Did that stay the same?
It ticked up a little bit to 4.1%. It's still projected at some point in time to get into the mid threes, maybe even low threes. But that hasn't really been a very good indicator over the last 6 or 7 years, because
it's a phony number.
The GDP doesn't reflect the unemployment rate. I mean, if this really is the unemployment rate, then we should have a GDP of over 4, maybe close to 5. I mean, so it's not really. Obviously, I think the unemployment rate's got a lot to do with not part-time, but lower-level jobs rather than proper jobs.
Well, speaking of GDP, Kudlow said the other day that he's still thinking 3-4% GDP growth this year. There's still all kinds of good signs that that businesses are poised to invest and expand and grow the economy.
That would be nice. I mean, lately we've revised it up. The expectations have been revised higher. Fourth quarter has been revised higher. But it still looks as though the average annual run rate is going to be around 2.6, 2.7% when all is said and done. So, yeah, it's still good, but it's still not even at that 3% level. It does take time, obviously, to see these tax cuts kind of go through. And I think with the nerves that are building in the market, as far as what you've seen lately with the stock market since the last couple of weeks of January, maybe it does kind of slow people down a little bit and slow their roll, and they're not quite as willing to spend as they might have been had they been on that sugar high that we had, the end of last year.
Well, do you think President Trump should be a little more responsible with his rhetoric? I mean, yesterday he was in West Virginia and talked about possible tariffs against other countries, and then the Dow dropped 200 points just like that.
Did you just ask me if President Trump should be a little more responsible with his rhetoric? I
am blonde, so talk slowly.
Well, that's yes, maybe, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's not gonna be. So it doesn't matter what I say. His core loves it, and sometimes the media loves it. I mean, there's a lot of people that, the market's going to react, but slowly but surely, even today, you saw how the market reacted to his overnight comments versus how it reacted to the first tariff tantrum, and it's already been muted. And I'll say this, I said this morning on television, that so far to me it looks a lot like he's playing the economic bully like he played the nuclear bully. He's handling China just like he keeps ratcheting up, just like he kept on ratcheting up with North Korea. And he thinks at some point in time, just like North Korea did, you'll see the Chinese capitulate at some sort, somehow, and it'll all be good. But at the end of the day, the market's really only worried about one thing. It can't stay the same because it's just not fair, but we don't know where we're going. So as long as that's an issue, there's going to be volatility.
Well, going back to Larry Kudlow, I mean, who has probably the most street cred as a growth guy out there, it seemed to me that maybe he had some material role in calming some of the hysteria with respect to trade war talk by saying, look, this is a growth play. I'm a growth guy. Trump is ultimately a growth guy. Kudlow was careful to say Trump considers himself a free trader. But the thing that Kudlow said that's important is this is a growth play in the short to medium term. What this is standing up to China. The world's behind us. They're bad actors. And ultimately what we're going to get to is reduction of taxes, tariffs, on both sides that are going to be good for both sides. That's where we're going to land.
I don't think that's a difficult thing to buy into. I mean, I do think that the sentiment would be behind the U.S. I mean, at the end of the day, and these are round numbers, and you can dispute them by about 10% either way, but they buy, they buy 150 billion dollars worth of stuff a year off of us, and we buy more than three times that off of them. So if we stop buying, from China and they stop buying from the U.S., who gets hurt more? Right. Especially with their economy in the state it's in now. So we definitely have the upper hand there, number one. Number two is that they are in contravention of WTA rules where they are absolutely, the government's giving money to corporations in China to compete directly with U.S. corporations. That's not fair. And then the biggest one, obviously, everybody keeps talking about, is the $200 billion to $300 billion a year we lose in intellectual property rights, which is very, very real. And other Western countries have the same problem with China on that one. So there's a lot of people that would line up behind us there. So at the end of the day, I don't understand anybody that can say we shouldn't be doing anything. We should keep it the same. It just doesn't make sense to me. Don't upset the apple cart. Let's let them keep cheating because we don't want to have any volatility. I don't understand that. And I understand the market not liking the fact that we don't know where we're going. But I do believe Larry Kudlow is a free trade guy, and I do believe that Trump believes he is too. Maybe he's not quite that way, but I think that it's not that hard to buy into what Larry was saying because, nobody really does. Here's what I would like. Nobody really wins a trade war, right? Mm-hmm. But somebody loses a lot more than the other guy.
Mm-hmm. And you see
and
that
I think
happening?
That's where we're at. I think that's where we'd be at. Yeah, I think that's where if we do that, we're going to, nobody wins, but somebody's going to lose a lot more than the other guy.
Well, let's talk a little bit about trade deficits, too, because I've gotten into this discussion, even surprisingly with very sophisticated financial people. And my understanding, which of course is correct, is that trade deficits don't matter. And they certainly don't matter. They're certainly not an indicator of economic performance. In the 70s, trade deficits were nearly zero. The 70s were not the decade that featured the term stagflation wasn't exactly the salad days. In the 80s, trade deficits first boomed, and then they diminished a bit. And obviously, we had the 7 fat years under Reagan. The 90s, trade deficits became large again. We had the tech boom, and the economy grew at a pretty good pace. So give me your perspective on trade deficits, because that's certainly part of the political discourse, and it's something central to what Trump argues.
I hate to say it, but I agree with you 100%.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We can hang up now, right? Yeah, that's it.
That's all I needed, Scott. Was that so hard?
But I also would put in that number, trade deficits don't matter. Neither do retail sales. I hate that number because I don't care how much you sold. I want to know how much you made, right?
Yeah, right.
We should have a retail profits number, not a retail sales number. It's ridiculous. So retail sales is garbage. I agree with you about the trade deficit. Doesn't mean that a lot. There's a lot more out there. Right now, isn't it funny how things become vogue and not out of vogue? Labor force participation rate is probably the most important number out there, but it's really not. It never gets any headline news, and that's the fastest way to turn the economy around is put more people back to work right now, and how many people are actually participating, and we don't really ever talk about it.
I know Stuart Varney pays you a lot of money for this kind of advice, but we're not going to pay you, and you're going to give it to us.
Wow. What about another cow jacket?
Or
getting holes in the elbows.
Or cow swag, one of the two.
Yeah, I've got to go to Omar the tent maker and lay down and have him trace around me.
All right, so if you're advising a up and coming nouveau richer like myself, what to do with a little bit of excess disposable income. Do you stay in the market and do you test for the new lows and kind of dollar cost average in at that point, or do you go to cash? Do you pay off debt? What should you do in these volatile times as the market seems like it's just going to kind of stay sideways for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. If you would have bought the high every year since 1929, you'd be a billionaire many times over by now. So as long as we and this is a simple answer that nobody likes to talk about, Dan and Amy, is that as long as we have a growing population, the stock market's going to go up. Because we keep inventing new consumers, right? So you can't. It's very difficult. Look at China.
Well, Amy's
very difficult.
Consumers.
It's very difficult to have your stock market rally and have an expanding economy when you're not having an expanding population. That's the bottom line. So, yeah, you're going to have volatility here. There's going to be better times to get in the market than there are others. But a nouveau riche guy like you, Dan, with so many more years left to live, you don't need to worry about trying to time the market. You just need to be invested at the right time. So if you do get an opportunity to get in at cheaper prices, do it. But don't think that, it can't go lower than what you put in at that moment in time. It will probably go lower. But at the end of the day, over a 10-year period, you're going to do well.
That's good. That's good news and good advice. But I want to be a billionaire now. I don't want to wait 10 years or 90 years.
Well, then you'll have to somehow get involved with scraping, information from Facebook.
Also good advice. I'll have to go to the black market. I got it. All right. He is Scott Shellady, Fox Business contributor. Scott the Cow Guy. Scott, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Have a good weekend, guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Oh, don't put away that winter hat just yet, or your coat, or your boots, or your gloves. It's going to be a pretty chilly weekend around here today for Friday. Some clouds, some sun, a high of 35. Tonight, just really bitterly cold, a low of 19. Weekend looks like this. Saturday, sunny, but a high of 37. Average high for this time of year is 50. Sunday, increasing clouds and cold, a high of 39. And on Monday for the Chicago Cubs home opener, it's going to be cold and there's going to be snow. Spring.
And the baseball is going to suck.
Hey. At least we won yesterday. You guys lost 9-7 in the 10th inning? Yeah. How was the game? Or did you stay at home and watch the Masters from the comfort of your own home?
I thought Jordan Spieth played very well in opening day.
Anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of snow on Monday. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Dominic Fortini in for Jimmy Talamonte.
A tradition like any other opening day. Inbound side of the Kennedy on the brakes at Irving Park, 35 minutes O'Hare in, 25 in from the junction, 30 in the inbound express lanes. Outbound delays Montrose to Sayre, 31 minutes downtown out to O'Hare. If you're on the inbound Ike, you'll run into some slow spots. Austin into the Burns Circle, 50 minutes from Thorndale in, 35 in from Manheim, while the Stevenson's crawling Central into the Ryan, an hour in from 355, 50 in from the Tri-State. We've got a crash inbound Ryan now at 79th. Backups in the locals begin near 31st, 35 minutes, 95th in. Southbound Lakeshore a little bit slow at Montrose. Northbound Tri-State had that earlier crash near the Stevenson. That's been taken care of. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
We're just going over why my son didn't get into a selective enrollment. He got a 95 out of 99 on his MAP score for math.
That's good.
And an 89 out of 99 in reading.
That's
Straight
good.
A's, never had a B in his life. How does this happen? Dan?
It's like somebody's not writing big enough checks.
Yeah. You know, my mom blamed me yesterday. She said, well, it's probably because you work at this Republican radio station. That's why.
Could be political targeting.
Great. Thanks.
Could
Don't
be.
put that hate on me, Ricky Bobby.
Those are good test scores. I mean, that's a good test score, seriously.
Yeah, he's smart. Please. All right, anyway, spring is in the air. Well, eventually it will be. And if you've got school-age kids, then you should already be thinking about back-to-school season this fall, and you should consider sending your child to a private school at half the regular cost, thanks to our very, very, very dear friends at halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find local private schools from all over the Chicago area that are offering vouchers for a full year of tuition at half the price with no catch. Find a school near you, purchase the tuition voucher and prepare to send your child off to school this fall. It's that simple. HalfPriceSchools.com has schools located all across the Chicagoland area, including Calvin Christian School in South Holland, Christian Liberty Academy in Arlington Heights, Good Shepherd Lutheran School in Downers Grove, Westminster Christian School in Elgin, St. Paul Evangelical Lutheran School in Chicago. It goes on and on. So make private Christian schools affordable for your family for the first time this year. These vouchers will sell out. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Hey Radioland, Ken here from Income Store. Did you know making money is like a combination lock? If you know the numbers and the proper order of the numbers, it has to open. The lock doesn't know or care if you're 8 or 80 years old. It has to open. Making money is the same way. When you know the steps and know the right order for the steps, revenue generation has to happen. As we like to say at Income Store, if you know the steps to take and you take the steps, revenue will be created. For close to a decade, we have proved to thousands of households and businesses that adding an additional revenue stream is not magic or luck. Both Forbes and Inc. praise Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to creating revenue for a home or business. If you'd like to see exactly how anyone from a teenager with more time than money to an executive with more money than time can add a revenue stream to their home or business, just open one of the 2 entry doors you'll find at incomestore.com. That's incomestore.com.
AM 560.
The Answer. Remember the story, Amy, of Bob Miller, who is the former Algonquin Township Highway Commissioner, family business for about 50 years, $400,000 in payroll for this little highway commissioner and road department.
Hire his family members too and
Yeah.
his wife.
Yeah.
And they had a really nice
Yeah.
life. And he was voted out of office.
He was voted out of office last spring in the spring elections. But that doesn't mean the gravy train has to end.
What happened?
He's now working for the Nunda Township Road District.
Nunda? Where's that?
In McHenry County. Okay. So he just goes from the highway commissioner there at Nunda Township is a guy named Les Perance.
Name assassinator. What am I rubbing off on you?
No, Les Perance.
Les Perance. Okay.
That's his name. Interestingly, Andrew. Also, by the way, his 2 sons-in-law who were on the payroll in Algonquin Township when Bob Miller was the road commissioner, the highway commissioner there.
Let me guess. They got jobs too there?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they can do that demolition derby thing that they're doing in the yard. Remember they put it on YouTube? They're shooting guns and wrecking vehicles just for fun, just because, another day at the job.
So the commissioner there in Nunda Township makes, Mike Lesperance makes $94,000 a year. This is great. The Northwest Herald reporting. Lesperance, who earns $94,000 a year, answered a call from the Northwest Herald reporter from his New Hampshire vacation home. I bet he did. Of course he did. He explained the hiring of Bob Miller, who, by the way, I believe is still under federal investigation. They're really talented people. When I look at people, I don't look at whether they came from Algonquin Township or Joe's Excavating. I look at what they can do for the people of Nunda. They're as good of people as I could find.
Oh, my gosh.
Mm-hmm. These are Republicans, by the way. So lest you think, as you shouldn't, if you've ever listened to the show, that this is a partisan issue. It isn't. It's Republicans, big government, scheming, conniving Republicans like Bob Miller and his family, and this back-scratching that goes on at all levels of government. Why the Republican Party is a super minority in the state, and why this is the worst governed state in U.S. history. At the micro level, where you can do something about it, and McHenry County is just an example, Algonquin Township is just an example, it's everywhere. So when you hear before our friend Mark Robinson from Greensboro, North Carolina, showing up to a council meeting and saying his piece on the gun issue, you may want to think about doing the same on your pocketbook issues, too. Otherwise, the Bob Millers will continue to prosper at your expense. I mean, until they retire to their vacation homes in New Hampshire and Florida and elsewhere. It's remarkable, it really is.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, a tradition like none other.
That's right. We're going to talk to Matt McEntee, who is the CEO and partner for Green Golf Partners, see if he's got any advice for tourist options for Sergio Garcia in the greater Augusta area as he waits to present Jordan Spieth with the green jacket on Sunday.
Okay. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Check out on the headlines here at home and around the world. Here's Mike Scott.
Well, to his credit, he did hit that green 5 times. Just slopes right back down to the water. 33 degrees outside, cloudy skies, winds northwest at 10. President Trump is being rebuked by the president of Mexico for planning to send soldiers to the border. Enrique Nieto saying Mexico this morning is willing to cooperate with the U.S., but not at the expense of what he called sovereignty or dignity. The U.S. economy adds just 103,000 new jobs last month, far less than the 175,000 or so that most economists were expecting. The Pineapple Express is on its way to the West Coast, but this is the wrong time of year for a Pineapple Express. That's an atmospheric river of Pacific moisture, usually arrives in the winter. Springtime on the West Coast, just like here, and it's heavy rain time and a threat of major flooding and record warm temperatures. The FBI offering a reward to find a man linked to a 1996 airline crash. So you may recall that crash. It killed 110 in Miami. The FBI this morning announcing it's now offering a $10,000 reward for information that leads to the arrest of Moraro Ocial Valenzuela Reyes. Now, he was a mechanic for ValueJet when that plane took off from Miami and then crashed in the Everglades. The FBI says they have a few questions for him. Chicago police are investigating a pair of attacks that appear to be connected. Authorities say the first incident happened this morning when a man was robbed by 5 others on West Polk. Later, that same group of 5 swiped a cell phone and cash from another man on North Rush. The attackers ran off. Some were arrested. Former social worker at the Elgin Mental Health Center is accused of sexual relations with a patient at that facility. Christine Lenhart was charged with sexual misconduct with a person with disabilities and official misconduct. John Lester struck out 6. Cubs blanked the Brewers at Miller Park 8-0. Tigers score 3 in the 9th, 2 in the 10th. They spoil the home opener for the White Sox with a 9-7 comeback win. Blackhawks play their final home game of the season tonight against the Blues. The news is a service of Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Great news, there's a quick way you could save money. Switch to Geico, and Geico could help you get great coverage at a great price. It only takes 15 minutes to see if you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Go to geico.com today and see how much you could save. 8:33. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher urges you to keep a level head.
And this is a budget that, again, except for the military portion, we're going to be back to the same place we are today, October 1st. We get carried away and we get very depressed. Our highs are too high. Our lows are too low. And we've just got to take a breath and realize that a lot can happen between now and October.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Quality doors and windows are one of the smartest investments you can make. They improve your home's appearance and save you money on energy bills year-round. Say goodbye to high-pressure sales tactics and enjoy the best window and door experience with Next Door and Window. Call now and schedule your free quote, 630-590-1370, or go online to nextdoorandwindow.com. Next Door and Window has wood-clad, vinyl, and fiberglass windows and doors. Their staff will help you find exactly what you want. Right now, get 10% off windows and doors with no money down and no payments for 1 year. Call 630-590-1370 or go to nextdoorandwindow.com to schedule your free quote. Choose from 3 showrooms in Chicagoland, Arlington Heights, Burr Ridge, and Naperville. Call 630-590-1370 or go to nextdoorandwindow.com to schedule your free quote and for finance qualifications.
Next Door and Window, thousands of options, one perfect fit.
8:36. Let's get an update on the roads. And in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Dominic Fertini.
Kennedy in at 35 minutes from O'Hare to downtown, 25 in from the junction, 30 in the inbound express lanes. Outbound, you're slowing Montrose to Canfield. That adds up to 36 minutes downtown out to O'Hare. Inbound Ike, 52 minutes in from Thorndale, while the inbound Stevenson hits the brakes at Central, an hour in from 355. We've got 2 left lanes blocked with a new crash on the inbound Ryan near 79th. That's created a fixed delay back to 95th. Schedule 45 minutes in from 95th. Heavy again between Pershing and the Burns Circle. Inbound Bishop Ford on the brakes near the Stony Island feeder as well. Southbound Lakeshore busy, Montrose to North Avenue. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Patchy morning fog, windy and colder. Clouds will yield to a bit of sun this afternoon, but will stay constant around 35. Currently 33 at O'Hare, 34 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 9, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, it's Dan. Join me with former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, former DNC Chairman Howard Dean at Judson University World Leaders Forum Thursday, April 19th, in just a couple of weeks. There's a community event at 2 p.m. on campus at Judson and Elgin, and the VIP reception with a photo op at 5 p.m. at the Hilton downtown. This is a debate between Gingrich and Howard Dean. Buy your tickets now, starting at $65 online, judsonu.edu/WLF. I'll be moderating this exchange between Gingrich and Howard Dean. It will not let Newt hawk any of Callista's children's books either.
Oh,
So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to buy any of her children's books. This morning, we're giving away a pair of tickets to hear that debate, that square off between Newt Gingrich and Howard Dean at the World Leaders Forum community event at Judson University in Elgin to the what number caller?
Caller 5, please.
Caller 5, please. 312-773-6993. 312-773-6993. Caller 5 gets 2 tickets to see Gingrich and Howard Dean throw down on April 19th at Judson U in Elgin. All right, switching gears, it was quite the first round of the Masters.
It was painful with 15th hole with Sergio Garcia.
Yeah.
Last year's winner. I mean, how many balls did he have in his bag, Dan?
Well, you're allowed
low.
6, and lucky for him, he brought the full complement. We got exclusive audio of what happened on that fateful 15th hole with Sergio. We had his caddy, Mike, so listen to this.
This is the last ball you got in the bag, Roy. You get this one, we're disqualified.
I can make it across.
Well, then do it. Quit around.
We're not sure why his caddy calls him Roy or why Cheech Marin was his caddy, but that's the fact. And then this happened.
11. Now this is a 12, guys. Now he's got to start worrying about qualifying for next year's Open and the Masters here. He's lost this tournament.
He'll end up selling Countess Maritais and renting golf carts the rest of his life. Look at this.
I don't know even know what I'm feeling right. This is the most painful thing I've ever seen.
You know what's crazy, Jimmy? If he doesn't finish the hole with this ball, he can't turn in a card. He's disqualified.
Oh, my God. Oh, dear Lord, please. Oh, dear Lord.
Nice musical accompaniment to Sergio's round yesterday. Yeah, there it is. Ball has been struck. Can it make it over? Don't spin back. Don't spin back.
Like your other 5
Stick.
balls.
Get over.
Get over. Come on. Come on.
He's over.
Now I want to watch that movie.
One of the, perhaps the greatest up and down for 13 I've ever seen.
Uh-huh.
And so the question now, of course, is what's Sergio going to do Saturday and Sunday while he's sitting around waiting to put a green jacket on Jordan Spieth? For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Matt McEntee, who is the CEO and a partner for Green Golf Partners. They in the golf course management business. They've got a number of signature properties in Illinois, including Kemper Lakes, which is a great course, up in Killdeer, Kankakee Country Club, Eagle Creek Golf. And
Are you just going through the list to see what courses you want to play at?
Yeah, I am. I haven't played Kemper in a long time. Not that you're
asking for any favors. And I could play too. I mean, it's been a while.
We're above that. Obviously, I don't want to play Short Hills Country Club in Moline. Well, why am I even mentioning it? Matt, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. You ought to go to Florida because it's not exactly golf weather here in Chicago today.
Yeah, I have noticed that.
Or Saturday, or Sunday, or Monday.
Yeah,
or Monday.
That's true, and it's not like I'm looking to play Cape Royal or West Chase in Florida. Just to throw out 2 clubs, it's all right. So a lot of great storylines too. You had obviously Sergio's meltdown. You had Tony Finau in his first Masters play on one leg and shoot 4 under, and then of course Jordan Spieth, who basically leads
5 birdies in a row in the back 9.
Well, yeah, but also too. Did you hear the stat? Of the 17 rounds he's played at Augusta, he's led in 9 of them. By comparison, Tiger led in 9 rounds at the Masters after playing 73 at Augusta. I mean, it's remarkable how Jordan Spieth has taken to that course, Matt.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. And the other stat that kind of goes overlooked or gets overlooked is he birdies 1 out of every 4 holes he plays. So over the course of time, for whatever reason, that golf course just seems to fit him. I mean, he's a great player. And 3 weeks ago, Charlie Reimer on Golf Channel was questioning if he'd lost his putting. And yesterday, like Amy said, he makes 5 in a row on the back 9. And 7 in total and an eagle. So
and how about
incredible round of golf.
And then how about scrambling to minimize the damage on 18 after he laced it into the woods? I mean, that was a great 5 he made on 18.
I thought that was the best number he made all day because, when you've had a run like that and he could have really thrown up all over himself and kind of killed the momentum and he's incredible and. And at that golf course, you know, the stat that you mentioned earlier, he's led 9 times already in his short career. And most of the guys ahead of him have played. Gary Player played in 52 Masters, and he's led 9 of them. And he's one of the greatest in history, 3-time winner. So this guy, that's his golf course.
What about Tony, who I'm going to butcher his name, Finau, who, did you see him after he hit that hole-in-one during the par 3 competition?
Yeah.
And he popped it, was an ankle out, and then he had to put it back in. I got sick. I couldn't even watch it.
Yeah, I mean, how do you do that?
Ugh.
I mean, most average golfers would still be, you know, on Vicodin at the local hospital when he comes out and shoots 4 under in his first match. To me, that was the 2 most amazing storylines are Tony Finau coming out and playing, because, I mean, that's just ridiculous. And then Jack Nicklaus's son-in-law, GT,
I saw that.
makes a hole-in-one. And makes his and then his grandfather's tweet. The guy's won 6 times, and he says that was the most amazing moment he's ever had at Augusta.
Well, that was
unbelievable.
Awesome.
That was cool. But also cool was the old man, granddad, Jack, and with Gary Player, you just mentioned, teeing off on the first hole to kick off the tournament. That was cool to see those guys, and frankly, to see how they can still hit the ball in their 80s.
Oh yeah, I mean to me that's one of the best traditions in all of golf, and certainly, you know, everybody misses Arnold Palmer, but you look, it was 50 deep on the first tee watching those guys tee off. I mean, there's no other tournament in the world like it, and you're right. I mean, that moment, I've stood there for that moment, and that moment's unbelievable. And those guys, Jack's incredible. And how did you bring Ken Venturi back from the dead to call Sergio's debacle yesterday?
It's the magic.
You have an exclusive on that.
Yeah, it's the magic of radio, man.
We don't reveal our sources. All right, so Dan and I have a bet about Tiger Woods.
$100,000 on this, Matt. So.
No, it's not even $100. It's $10 because I can only bet what I can afford. And he's tied for 29th place right now, but he said that he's still in it. What exactly does that mean? I mean, technically, he is still in it, right?
He means he gets to play today. That's what it means.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, the way it works is the top 50 and anybody within 10 strokes of the lead is the cut. So if you took the cut line as of today, this morning, it'd probably be 4 over. So, yeah, he's in it. But the reality is, historically, it's been right around 10 under, plus or minus a couple of strokes that wins it. And, you know, if you would have said after the 12th hole, when he bogeyed 12 yesterday, that he was out of it, and then in true Tiger style, he makes a couple birdies. And so I think at 1 over, it's not a bad bet. I mean, he's still the crowd favorite. Nobody, I know Jack's won 6. And it's hard to say that Jordan Spieth doesn't own the Masters because his record, his scoring record, birdies, everything is off the charts. But I don't know. I'm not giving up hope on Tiger yet. It's Thursday, and if he goes out and shoots a low number early this morning, who knows? You know?
Yeah, who knows, Dan?
I don't. Yeah.
Should I raise my bet to 100,000?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Like you're betting with Phil Mickelson.
Well, right. Or it's like Dustin Johnson playing with Jordan. That's going to be a payday. So here's the thing, though. That leaderboard is full of known quantities, champions, in between Spieth and Tiger. And as much as I'd like to see him come back and make it competitive, make it that much more interesting. But I mean, Phil is there, and Rory is there, and Kuchar is there, and so you've got and Charlie Hoffman, who always plays well in majors. I mean, you've got like a lot of marquee players that are scrunched up at the top of that leaderboard.
Yeah, you got 7 major champions, 4 past Masters winners. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a long climb, but you know, it's hard to say that anybody's out of it on Thursday. He's within
except
7
Sergio.
strokes of the yeah, except Sergio, which was incredible. If you can name the 2 other 13s, I'll be really impressed.
Tom Weiskopf. And
there you go. You challenged him.
Well, he's good.
Right.
I can tell. I've been listening, and he's a golf guy.
Yeah, I am.
And he can come to Kemper when the weather warms up. We'd love to have you.
Pay full greens fee, I presume. Right?
No, come on out. You play with me.
Oh, all right.
$100,000.
All right, wait. What's your handicap?
No comment. You'll have to
he's a
work
scratch
on it.
golfer. He's a
He's-
scratch
no,
golfer.
He's going to be one of those guys. He's going to be a guy. His handicap moves depending on his assessment of the competition.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
right.
That's how. That's
That's
how.
the Japanese guy. Japanese guy's the other 13.
Oh, I don't know. Who was it? Chen?
Tommy Nakajima.
Not Tommy Nakajima.
Come on, Tommy. Nakajima.
What made Weiskopf was on 12, which is technically, even worse. But I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't bet on Tiger, but I think everybody in the world of golf, every sportscaster, especially CBS on the weekend, if he's, what ends up happening, which does sort of, reflect his marquee values. I would guarantee you, if he makes the cut, he's within 6 shots of the lead. He'll have more airtime than the lead.
Oh yeah, no question.
And yesterday, Scott Van Pelt, there was a guy that was under par and had made a double bogey, and Scott Van Pelt was on the ESPN coverage, and he said, "Well, he's out of it," and then Tiger, they cut the Tiger, who at the time was three over, and he basically said, "Listen, this guy can make a run on the back nine, and he'll be right there." So,
that's great.
It's a double standard, right?
Oh,
that's fake news. I love it.
That's fantastic. All right, so since we're talking about
ask about this.
Well, since we're talking about gambling, I got one more bet. So I've got
okay.
a $100,000 bet at 5-1 that Freddie Couples is in traction by the end of the third round. You think that's a good bet?
Oh, I think that's solid. I'd take that bet all day long.
All right.
He's and listen, for old guys like me, he's the guy that when he turned 50 seemed to compete every year and be at the top of the leaderboard at the Masters, but he looks like he's about 78 right now. His back is brutal, and I'm surprised he's playing, but
he was
it's a good story.
What was he, even yesterday? 1 over?
Yeah.
Even. Yeah.
Wow. He
better
does
than you.
again. What do they say? Courses for horses. He loves that. He loves Augusta.
Yeah.
Kind of like Dan's game, but just a little different. I mean, sans the back pain,
Right, and the club throwing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
real quickly,
Okay.
you're the CEO for Green Golf Partners. What does that mean? What is it?
Well, it's we have a very nice kind of smaller golf company that owns, manages, and leases approximately 22 golf courses in 5 states. Like you guys mentioned earlier, we have a number of really nice projects here in Illinois, including Short Hills, which is a ridiculous golf course. Kankakee Country Club, they celebrated their 100th anniversary. And then Kemper Lakes. And Kemper this summer is a really hot spot. We're hosting the Women's PGA Championship, which is sponsored by KPMG. One of the featured speakers every year is Condoleezza Rice. They do a summit for women business leaders. They bring together basically the top 100 leaders in business in the United States, women. And it's a great tournament, great cause. They're really trying to do what they can to sort of break the proverbial glass ceiling, and they also they have a foundation. They do some great work giving scholarships to very deserving young women. And for the average golfer, to be honest, they should go watch the women, not the men. You go to the Bulls game and the guys are dunking, and most of us aren't ever doing that. You go to a men's tournament, and I don't know if you saw any of the Arnold Palmer, the Bay Hill a couple of weeks ago, but I think Rory hit a drive 386, and in Austin, Texas, Dustin hit one about 480. So none of us, maybe Dan's doing that, but the rest of us aren't. But you go and watch the women play, and you can really learn a lot.
Well,
you really can. I mean,
it's
they're
fun.
spectacular players, and they figure out how to get the most out of it.
No, it's funny. I mean, last year, so I'm a member at Olympia. So Olympia had the women's PGA last year, and it was a great event. So I definitely recommend it at Kemper, and Kemper's a great course. It's always been a great course. I haven't played in a long time, but I know you used to have Illinois Open tournaments there too for the teaching pros and others, the amateurs, because I caddied in it a couple times for teaching pros in the area. So I've always liked Kemper. That's a great track. Matt,
they have a. Yep, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, they hosted another kind of famous tidbit is they hosted the 1989 PGA Championship.
Yeah, right.
Payne Stewart's first major.
Yeah.
And then I think the tournament history is amazing. And to your last point, the folks at Olympia did a really great job. I was down there, worked the event every day. It's a great crew. It's a great spot. Really great spot.
Thank you, Matt McEntee. He is the CEO and a partner of Green Golf Partners. Yeah, and you can go to greengolfpartners.com to get a listing of all of the properties that they manage as well, the courses that they have. Matt, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Enjoy the Masters.
Thank you.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jerry Kerrigan, one of the owners of F.J. Kerrigan Plumbing Company, a third-generation family-run business. Our trusted longtime accountant referred us to Signature Bank, and we've never been happier. On one of our first meetings, Signature Bank CEO Mick O'Rourke said, "You worry about running the business, and we'll take care of everything else." Since that initial meeting, Signature Bank has lived up to every promise they've made. The decision-making is local, the staff is consistent, and the service is outstanding. F.J. Kerrigan Plumbing understands the value of long-term customer relationships, and we plan to be a customer of Signature Bank for a long time to come.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Dr. Howard has made a great product. I'm so glad that I started taking it.
I listened to all the commercials on the radio. I said, they're right. They're right. I can verify they're right. I feel younger than my years. They make me feel good.
I've been very delighted with Balance of Nature. I have not had a cold in probably 2 or 3 years, whatever I'm on your program. And I also have been told that I don't look my age, which is another good thing because my skin is so nice.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Protect your firearms and valuables with the best money can buy, a Liberty Safe from Maxon Shooter Supplies and the new LibertySafeChicago.com. Maxon, your local Liberty dealer, stocks the complete line of Liberty safes and accessories. Not in stock? You can customize, configure, and order online at LibertySafeChicago.com. Pick it up at Maxon or have it delivered and professionally installed. Right now, Liberty is offering 0% financing for qualified customers. And during this April launch only, you can purchase a Liberty floor safe from Maxon at up to a $500 discount. Owning a Liberty safe has never been so easy. For over 25 years, millions of American homes have trusted their 100% made in the U.S. Liberty safes to protect their guns, keep them out of the reach of children, and protect their valuables from theft and fire. Liberty stands behind every safe with a lifetime warranty. If anyone tries to break into your Liberty safe, they'll repair or replace it for free. Choose your Liberty safe in person at Maxon Shooter Supplies in Des Plaines, or shop online and view details at LibertySafeChicago.com.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Pro-life and a true conservative, Mike Braun is the Christian leader we need in the U.S. Senate. Mike grew up in Jasper, Indiana, and married his high school sweetheart, Maureen. Mike and Maureen came back home after school to raise 4 kids on the same values they grew up on: faith, family, and hard work. 3 of the kids joined the family business, and you'll find the Brauns at church on Sundays. Politicians in Washington have very different values. Let's send Mike Braun to the U.S. Senate to make a difference for us. In Washington, Mike Braun will stand for the right to life, defend traditional family values, and help President Trump confirm strong pro-life judges to the Supreme Court. Christian, pro-life, conservative. Mike Braun for Senate.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Hey, we know replacing your roof is a big deal and a big decision. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson, the boys from Crumweedy. If your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy. We would love to do your roof. Why choose Crumwitty to do your roof or roof repairs?
It's all about installation. Our guys are pros. When we install your roof, you'll get the Crumwitty promise of installation that's up to manufacturer specifications, so your warranty is intact. You'll be happy.
Cost. We give you a good, better, best option. You choose. No high pressure.
We're here. We're a third-generation family business that was built on the same conservative values as you.
We do business the right way. We have a special offer that includes free gutters with a new roof. Ask about it. When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Thanks so much to Justin Kosick, our technical producer, Quinn McCarthy, our associate producer, Keith Conrad, our executive producer, and to all of you who listen to the show. Have a great weekend. It's going to be real nice out. Are you going to go to the pool or the beach this weekend?
I'm going to go to the couch and watch Jordan Spieth win another green jacket.
Okay, just remember our bet.
I will.
Tiger Woods, top 10, all right? Now let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Illinois bracing for a wintry weekend. Tigers beat the White Sox in the home opener. WIND Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.